Last night, the Athletics made their first trip to Chavez Ravine since 2009, and Sonny Gray was fantastic. The A's ace pitched his fourth career shutout and second in the month of July as he cruised past the Dodgers, and the A's took game one of the series. Tonight, Jesse Chavez, a Southern California native, takes the hill. He makes his first career start at Dodger Stadium. Jesse is coming off a disappointing outing and would love to rebound on his home turf. It's game two, A's, Dodgers, next. Beautiful night for baseball at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles as we get set to wrap up this quick two-game series. Jesse Chavez is going to pitch for the Athletics. Mike Bolsinger, young right-hander, is going to pitch for the Dodgers. There's your pitching matchup, and the A's will try to make it two in a row over the Dodgers. A's-Dodgers coming up on Comcast Sportsnet, California. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to A's Baseball. Along with Ray Fosse, I'm Glenn Kuiper. Josh Reddick, big night last night, single, double, and a home run, and Ray stretched that out a little bit. He's been swinging the bat well for a while now.
Well, you go back against the Minnesota Twins, kind of started there. A big game when the A's hit 5 home runs, including the grand slam by Josh Reddick. That was the end of the 5 home runs, but a big one, his third career slam, but he carried it over to last night. I think against the left-hander Brett Anderson, he saw the 3 pitches, a curveball there that he hit for a double after taking 1 curveball. Then he gets a slider with 2 strikes that he took to left field. Very, very good hitting by there, Josh Reddick. But how about the fastball inside? Turned on it. That turned out to be a big, big run, an insurance run for Sonny Gray and pitching the shutout. Brett Anderson giving up 3 hits to Josh Reddick. Of course, the lefty, he wants to face everyone. The lefty who was supposed to pitch tonight, he's not going to. So I think maybe Josh Reddick's happy.
Indeed. Clayton Kershaw, a sore hip, so he's been pushed back to Friday, and the A's will see a right-hander by the name of Mike Bolsinger, who's pitched pretty well for the Dodgers.
You know, the one thing about him, the A's will see the right-hander versus Kershaw, the great curveball, but this gentleman here, this young man, he cannot throw a straight fastball. Everything he throws moves, and that's why you see the ground ball outs that he does throw. Last night it was Brett Anderson, 14 ground ball outs. Bolsinger tonight from the right side with a movement on every pitch that he throws. We'll see what the A's can try to do to elevate, get him to get the balls up and try to drive them.
And we'll see if Jesse Chavez can bounce back from a tough start in his last start on Friday night. Now, when we come back, we'll check in with the A's pregame live studios, and then after that, we'll come back to Dodger Stadium for lineups and first pitch.
is brought to you by Jack in the Box. For a limited time, try the new Portobello Mushroom Buttery Jack with melted garlic herb butter. And by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places.
Another beautiful night for baseball here at Dodger Stadium. Yasiel Puig bobblehead night, so a big crowd is expected, close to a sellout, as the A's try to make it 2 in a row over the Dodgers before heading home for a very long homestand. Let's check out the game time weather. It's presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is now open daily. 73 degrees, 6 miles an hour is the wind, so really not much of a breeze. A little humidity. Just about the same temperature as last night, as the Dodgers have taken the field in the all-whites, and the A's are set to go. A pitcher's duel last night. We will see what happens tonight. Let's look at the lineup for the Oakland A's. It starts with Billy Burns, and then Ike Davis slides up. Ike Davis is going to hit second tonight. Josh Reddick, he's been hot. Big night last night. Stephen Vogt back in the lineup. He'll hit in the cleanup spot. Then it's Laurie, Sogard, Simeon, Fuld, and the pitcher, Jesse Chavez.
Mike Bolsinger on the mound for the Dodgers. It was supposed to be Clayton Kershaw, but a hip issue has forced him to be delayed until Friday against the Angels. Bolsinger, if you look at the numbers of Greinke and Kershaw in July, Bolsinger's been right there with them, but pitching very well. And as we mentioned, our open, a lot of different pitches, a lot of movement on pretty much everything. Very difficult for him to throw anything straight, and as a result, it becomes a ground ball pitcher. A's saw that last night in Brett Anderson. And the lefty tonight, it is a righty, so no back-to-back lefties facing the Athletics in this series.
Defensively behind Bolsinger, Ethier's in left, Peterson is in center, Puig is in right. Alex Guerrero is the third baseman tonight. Jimmy Rollins at short, Howie Kendrick at second, and Adrian Gonzalez is at first, and Yasmani Grandal is your catcher. So the only change on the infield is at third base, where Guerrero gets the start. So Bolsinger finished up his warm-up tosses. A's won last night 2-0 behind Sonny Gray, getting their 13th shutout of the year. And tonight it'll be Jesse Chavez against Mike Bolsinger, your pitching matchup. So Sonny Gray, his second shutout of the year last night.
A's have 45 wins in the season, and yet about 25%, very close to that, been shutouts. So just talks about what the A's have done. Sonny Gray has been outstanding, as showed last night once again. Let's see if Billy Burns swings at the first pitch again like he did last night with Brett Anderson.
First pitch is in for a strike, so we're underway from Dodger Stadium. Burns, Davis, and Reddick here in the first inning for the Athletics. He's had just 6 hits last night, a double and a home run. Reddick with the home run. Here's your umpires. Brian Knight is the home plate umpire, and that's your crew chief, Larry Vanover. Vanover at first base tonight. Burns slaps one down the left field line, and it'll go foul. So 1-2 the count.
2012 when the Dodgers were at the Coliseum, the great Hall of Fame broadcaster Vin Scully, of course, was at the Coliseum, and Brandon McCarthy and Tommy Malone took the elevator up from the clubhouse to introduce themselves to that gentleman. Larry Vanover did it again tonight. The umpire, first base, brought his son up, and he came up to say hello to Vin Scully.
Kendrick, a little double clutch, not in time. He could not get it out of his glove cleanly, so he just had a little double clutch, and that's all it took, and Burns is aboard.
It is amazing when you see just the double clutch. That's what happens. The speed of Billy Burns, especially from the left side, as he is hitting left-handed against the right-hander, and just slapped the ball, and right there did a great job, did Kendrick, going around, circling around the baseball, but the double clutch could not get it out, and Burns is given a hit. I think that's what they said. Is that right, Ken?
Indeed, yep, infield hit.
And he did slip. Billy Burns slipped out of the batter's box, but I think what that does is show the speed of Billy Burns and what infielders have to do to hurry themselves because of the speed of one A's leadoff hit.
And for Burns, that's his 26th infield hit this year. Only D. Gordon has more. D. Gordon in the National League, so most in the American League. Now we'll see if he runs. He's 20 for 24 in stolen base attempts. as Ike Davis steps in.
That is Ike Davis.
So Ike Davis' father last night at the hotel. Ron Davis, former big league reliever. He was a good reliever. Many years with the Yankees.
That's why Ike did such a great job. He pitched in college and had a very good game that he did make his one appearance. And it's no big deal. Your sinker, slider.
It really was not a big deal. It looked like he could easily go out there and do it again, and he probably could. 0-1 the count. Davis 251 with 3 home runs, 18 RBIs.
Grandal that time almost moved in the right-handed batter's box. He moved out so far for the backdoor breaking ball.
Reddick to follow. Jack Davis right on the back line. Big chopper. Kendrick gets the hop, shuffles to second for 1, back to first, and that's a double play. So 4-6-3 double play and 2 out here in the first.
If you're a ground ball pitcher, you do not worry about the guy on base, and even the speed of Billy Burns. And you'd have to think if it's a ground ball pitcher, and maybe the running game would be something that you'd be thinking about just to try to stay out of a double play. And I agree with you, and that's and who knows, it might have been the second baseman covering on that particular pitch, but it just negates any possibility of anything developing if and Billy does have the green light. Maybe he didn't see enough pitches to determine whether he could run or not, but maybe you can know that even before you get to first base, that you take off, especially since he is a ground ball pitcher.
So 2 outs for Reddick. 13 home runs, 57 RBIs for Reddick. And a big night last night with his 3 hits, single, double, and a home run. And all 3 hits coming against the lefty Brett Anderson. Interesting note in the A's notes. First time in his career that he collected 3 hits in a game off left-handed pitching. And that one on the outside corner, 2-2. Bolsinger, not a real hard thrower, doesn't look like, kind of a dart thrower.
And really tops out to about 89, 90 miles per hour, but the control is his main attribute, and the fact that he'll throw a lot of different pitches anytime.
Right up near the helmet.
Fastball inside. I think he described it perfectly to us in the postgame. Thought he would get it, but the biggest thing he did was not try to hit it out. He just reacted on the fastball inside. And I'm yelling because of that center field noise. It was just pounding my head.
I didn't hear what you said, Ray. I missed. I'm sure it was something that was good. I just missed it. Ethier hustling into the corner. He can't get it. Bounces up into the seats, and it's going to be a double. Or maybe not. Reddick keeps running. He's going to go to third, but the third base umpire, Adam Hammery, says go back to second. But if it hit the foul pole, then it's in play.
But if it hit the ground and went above and hit above the wall, I think that's what it's in, because it normally would have been going into the seats. It's the only thing I could think, is because if it hit above the wall and hit the foul pole, let's see if it does.
See, why is that a double?
Because it would have gone to the seats anyway. The pole stopped it, I guess. That's the only thing I can think of, that it stopped it from going to the seats. The pole did. Otherwise, it goes to the seats and would be a ground rule double. That's the only thing. And I guess Bob Melvin just got the explanation. That's the only thing I could determine from that it was called a ground rule double, because it hit above the wall. You got a rule on that?
It's a double.
That's the only thing I could think. Is any other place except down the line, it would have been in the seats, but.
So that's interesting. If it hits the foul pole.
Okay, it's going to hit the warning track and go up, and so it landed in fair territory, hit above. That's the only thing I can think of. Hit above the wall, and would have gone in the seats otherwise.
We'll see if Vogt can get ahead, as Reddick will steal third, and nobody really does a whole lot because there's not much they can do. Guerrero, that's the third baseman right there playing the shortstop spot. So Reddick decided to take it. Why not? Easiest steal of third in his career.
Absolutely.
I bet.
He could have walked it. Been interesting if Grandal and thrown to the shortstop. But it makes a huge difference. And Stephen Vogt, who might not run real fast, but he runs hard, and infield will play back. They're shifting him to the right side, and Stephen Vogt also would very much like to go to the left side where the one infielder is on the left side.
Vogt tries to lay off, and he does on a breaking ball down and in. So the count now 3-1 to Stephen Vogt, hitting in the cleanup spot.
And it does make a big difference. Grandal has to block this ball in the dirt on the check swing that probably could have gone either way. Stephen Vogt gets the call.
So 3-1. On deck is Laurie.
Third ball.
And Stephen Vogt chased it down and in. So he held up on the curveball before that pitch, but could not hold up there.
This is a lot of confidence that Bolsinger has in his catcher. Grandal twice that he's blocked the ball, and that's the difference of Reddick being at third. And boy, he can come down the line, and not just see him come up about halfway down. And he is going to keep walking, and Bolsinger steps off. Bolsinger would have to step off and running back himself. Exactly. That's the only way Reddick would have to. And he could just stand there and say, how far are you going to run to push me back? Guerrero is the third baseman playing the shortstop position.
And Vogt down the left field line. This one's going to hook foul.
Now, Don Mattingly was a great hitter of the New York Yankees. First baseman, Gold Glover, he could hit. Brought up an interesting point. He said it's not so much all the shifts. He said hitters should try to hit against the shift, and if you see three guys on the right side, why roll over on the pitch? Take it to the opposite field. He said hitters should learn how to use the whole field, and if they do that, there won't be as many shifts.
So what you're saying is a hitter could use the shift to make him a better hitter.
Baseman number 15.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Brett Laurie.
Absolutely.
So Vogt with the 2-out walk, and now runners at the corners.
But sometimes it puzzles us when we see three guys on the right side. The guy gets over and top hand rolls over right into it, and or they try to hit over it. But in case of Reddick, they shift him. He hits a double down the left field line. They shift Vogt because all the statistics and the spray chart show that. But with Brett Laurie, straight up all the way around.
And the first pitch to Laurie is high, 87 miles an hour. Laurie 272, 8 homers, 38 RBIs. He was 0 for 4 last night, so he'll try to bounce back tonight. 21 pitches for Bolsinger here in the first inning. He scored in the first last night. Trying to do it again tonight, and Bolsinger trying to get loose. Bolsinger is 27 years old. He was with the Diamondbacks before this year, but just a cash deal was the trade, which is surprising because he's done a good job for the Dodgers. He pitched a little bit for Arizona last year, made 9 starts, but then just a straight trade for cash from Arizona to the Dodgers in November this past offseason. Curve in first strike.
You figure if you join the Dodgers rotation, you don't have to worry about being a 1 or 2.
That's true. You're going to get back in.
Because there's going to be that guy's going to be your ace, Kershaw or Jack Greinke.
This one's hit high in the air, shallow left center. Rollins backpedaling. Rollins is under. He's got it side retired. So the A's get a couple of hits and a walk, but do not score. And Jesse Chavez is set as he's looking for 6th win of the year. the Dodgers. Bottom of the first, and let's check out their lineup. Jimmy Rollins moves up to the leadoff spot. Howie Kendrick hits second. Adrian Gonzalez third. Grandal hits in the cleanup spot. Then it's Ethier Puig. Jack Peterson moves down to the seventh spot. He's been struggling. Alex Guerrero is the third baseman, and Bolsinger is your pitcher.
Jesse Chavez making the start. He did it last Friday in San Francisco, so back-to-back starts in National League Parks. Jesse, though, just 3 innings in his last start against the Giants, and that's why he wanted the ball tonight. And that's why Paul Melvin, Kurt Young said, give it to him. Drew Palmer has pitched out of the bullpen, so he'll go to the bullpen, and Jesse Chavez making the start, looking for win number 6.
So Rollins steps in, the switch hitter. First pitch, high fastball, swing and miss by Rollins.
Only difference for Jesse Chavez, who lives in the area, is his wife Crystal, and daughter is up in the Bay Area. As the A's just coming down for the 2 games, so Jesse will have them watching tonight, cheering on for their husband and father in this game.
Well, we're cheering for him too.
Absolutely. Jesse always, like when he comes to the park, he wants to bring one of his antique cars. He's a big car collector, and he said, "You see my 1950 Chevrolet?" So he said he's going to bring it to Anaheim, so we get a chance to see it there.
We've seen him jump in
yeah.
some of those classic cars down in Anaheim.
But he's a good pitcher on top of it, and trying to win both games here in Los Angeles.
2-2 to Rollins. Rollins was 0 for 3 last night.
Really, Rollins back more to his normal position of leading off. Did it for the Phillies for many years. Dropped down in the lower part of the batting order last night in the first game. Peterson dropped down tonight.
Looked up Jimmy Rollins' career numbers, Ray. Hits, 2,379. Home runs, 227. Stolen bases, 461. He's got 493 career doubles. Among active hits leaders, Jimmy Rollins, 7th. Look at Ichiro, 2,900.
Yeah.
Huh?
Combined with his hits over in Japan.
That one's hit high in the air to right field. Reddick, warning track. He's got it. 1 out. Defensively for the A's, Sam Fold is in left, Burns in center, Reddick in right. Laurie, Simeon, Sogard, and Davis, with Stephen Vogt doing the catching.
Stephen Vogt was supposed to get the night off also because Kershaw was going to pitch. He was saying last night probably get both games off, and the way his body is beaten up and been hit so many times, it's not going to be such a bad idea. But as soon as he saw this morning, as we all did, it was possible that Clayton Kershaw would be scratched. Start preparing to play tonight. Josh Fegley caught the shutout last night. Sonny Gray.
There's a base hit to left field, line drive. Yeah, I saw it about mid-morning that it was a possibility that Kershaw may not be able to go. Sore hip.
First baseman number 23, Adrian.
Fastball for Howie Kendrick last night. A hit to right field, a hit to center field. Tonight pulls the hands in, and it's a line drive hit to left field.
So 1 out, runner aboard for Adrian Gonzalez. Gonzalez was 1 for 4 with a double last night. He made the final out of the game. Scared us a little bit. He hit it fairly well to center field. Must have hit it off the end of the bat a little bit.
Well, you scared everybody because you said this is a power laden ball. They can hit home runs. You get the single by Kendrick, and this guy comes up and
the ball just jumps off his bat. It doesn't. It's just got that nice, easy swing.
To be honest, I thought some balls that were hit last night had a better chance of going out. I asked Rick Smolinski, he said he just missed it, just got under it. But Josh Reddick said the ball carries great here in Los Angeles. And he would know. He hit one out last night during batting practice, watching balls leave the stadium completely.
Now that's a surprise because that has not always been the necessarily feelings of hitters over the years here. much more of a pitcher's park than a hitter's park.
And even the ball Jimmy Rollins just hit sounded great off the bat, and fans got excited. The ball landed at the warning track.
Well, I mean, it can't be much weather related because it's warm, somewhat humid here. Sometimes very humid.
No fog.
No fog, no, and there's no cool breezes coming off the bay. And it's a 4-pitch walk to Gonzalez, 2 on and nobody out for Grandal. So it's a fairly large park just from a dimension standpoint, but not overly big.
Kind of symmetrical if you think about it, and look at 330 down the lines. The power out is 375, 400 straightaway center. So it's kind of like those cookie cutter stadiums back in the 70s. Riverfront, 3 rivers. But here is just, you don't think 375 is that big, but in left center, right center, in those areas, it turns out to be big. You saw that note, 3rd oldest stadium next to Wrigley and Fenway Park, 2 older stadiums.
1962.
He's not out. They came out and played at the LA Coliseum, which held 100,000 people.
That was a right field or left field fence was like 280.
Right.
The fence was about 50 feet high. It was not set up for baseball, but they did the best they could for 4 years.
It's like the Marlins Stadium before they got their new stadium. Played at the football stadium, and nobody ever showed up for baseball.
But they made a lot of changes here, and it's still a very beautiful ballpark. A lot of changes down underneath as well. Brand new visiting clubhouse. The old clubhouse was very small, and they made a brand new one. A little further down the right field line, but it's very nice. Those are little party decks above the bullpens. That's new. There's a whole bunch of new things they've done here the last 5-6 years. And it all rolls and fouls. So 2-2 the count.
David Lopes, a longtime Dodger second baseman, and back in the 70s, first base coach for Don Mattingly, is the veteran infielder coach, and he said the home clubhouse range goes from the dugout all the way down the left field line. So they've expanded that as well. And I mean, they're not going to change it. Look at the parking lot; it's huge. I mean, you can see the parking number of stalls, how much they charge for parking.
But all the seats behind home plate and down the lines, I guess we're calling them the field level seats. Those are all somewhat new. The configuration behind home plate and down lines has changed a little bit over the last 8 to 10 years. Two pitch, swing and a miss, got him down and in.
A cut fastball similar to last night. Sonny Gray throwing a similar pitch to Grandal. Peterson, some of the lefties. Once the movement goes inside and ball just runs underneath the swing. And he is mad again. That is Grandal slamming his bat in the dugout. And this time did not have to check with the umpire. That was all on him. That's it.
37% of the time, Jesse Chavez throws the cutter, highest in the majors. So we have a guy who throws the cutter more than anybody else in the majors. And Mike Bolsinger throws his curveball more than anybody else. Runner goes, and they're going to let Jimmy Rollins, or Howie Kendrick, excuse me, get the stolen base. So 1st and 3rd, pitch called to strike to Andre Ethier.
That is the best thing, even though you could see the third baseman Laurie getting to the bag, and Stephen Vogt just casually back to the pitcher. No reason to try to hurry, make a bad throw, trying to get somebody you don't have a chance.
One pitch down and away. 1-1 the count. Ethier 274 with 10 homers, 33 RBIs. 0 for 2 with a walk last night. This one down in.
Compliments raving about Sonny Gray last night from Ethier. They faced Harvey and DeGrom in New York. Said Sonny Gray had better stuff than they did. That's pretty impressive. You saw DeGrom in the All-Star game just blow 97, 98 by everybody, but Sonny Gray had an assortment of pitches last night. And he used all of them, and 9 strikeouts, 3 hits to a very, very good hitting veteran ball club, the Dodgers. It gets to rest for about 4 days and get ready again, probably to face the Indians over the weekend.
2-2 pitch, line drive, base hit right field. Kendrick comes in to score. Gonzalez is going to hustle around to third. He'll make it, and the Dodgers get a big 2-out hit and score a run here in the first.
Trying to go to the cutter inside as he did to Grandal, but it stayed up. And pulling the hands in was Ethier to get the base hit. So it hit the walk to Gonzalez, and there's your cutter, but it didn't cut. It did not cut down and in. And Jesse Chavez, who likes to throw the two-seam fastballs in to break it back over the corner, also the cutter down and in, but it just did not cut like we wanted it to.
So Ethier gets his 34th RBI. Here's Puig. Here's pitch to Puig, down and away. It's the Yasiel Puig bobblehead giveaway tonight. Puig's mother threw out the first pitch. There it is. Bounced foul. So the count even at 1-1. There's the Puig bobblehead. He's laying out. Making a great play in right field. It looks like him. That's pretty good.
He's not even looking at the baseball in the glove. He's looking up.
He knows he's got it. Plus, I think the fact that there was a rod in the glove with the ball attached, he knew that he was going to catch it. I mean, it's almost a guarantee.
On a pedestal. The baseball is on a pedestal. Maybe it's on a tee.
He's got nothing to worry about. He knows it's going in his glove. It's this one to shallow right. Sogard out, and Sogard will make the catch, side retired. So, run on a couple of hits for the Dodgers. 1-0 LA after 1. Sogard, Simeon, and Fuld for the Athletics. A's will return home after the game to start an 11-game homestand. That is the longest homestand of the year for the A's, so we're all looking forward to that. Let's see who's coming into town. We got the Indians this weekend.
Tino and Brandon Moss.
Yeah, 4 games set. And then the Orioles for 3.
Then
the Astros for 4. So there you go.
Seeing the Orioles for the first time, and then of course the A's will go back to see Baltimore and Toronto and the next trip. But
so we'll get to know the Orioles
in about 10 days and not see them anymore.
Orioles have won 4 in a row, so they're trying to make a little move.
Well, you know, the statement about it's not who you play, it's when you play them, and I think the Orioles have started to figure it out. And I think also we'll see what happens after Friday, how teams are changing dramatically. You know that the A's play the Blue Jays. Troy Tulowitzki is going to be playing shortstop for us.
So Sogard strikes out, and that's how the second inning starts. And here's our Geico quote of the game. Bob Melvin on Sonny Gray's performance last night. Said, quote, "It can be a cloudy day after a trade to be able to do that and give the team a good feeling after what was a rough day for everybody. You can't say you expect it out of him, but you get used to the fact that he pitches games like he did today." And you do. You just kind of figure that Sonny's going to be really good because he is most of the time.
He got his first hit last night. See him with a bat in his hand. Probably telling the skipper he wanted to get the green light last night. Said to Steele. Melvin said no.
Puig trots in. And that's 2 outs.
Struck out the first 2 times against Brett Anderson. Did Sonny Gray, but the next time against the right-hander, the hard throwing, he just slapped it and said, "Oh, it's a base hit down the right field line." And got the baseball. Everybody wondered. Yeah, he was looking left, hit it right. It's okay though. Not that easy to do when you don't hit.
Here's Fold with 2 outs. Well, I thought it was interesting. Bob Melvin saying it can be a cloudy day, meaning guys get traded and it can be a bit of a strange day for a team. Zobrist traded. Clippard, Kazmir, they're all gone now.
That one is saying take a pitch. That's the one. That's the sign to Mike Gallego. 1. Take a strike. I thought you were going to say that his opening statement was it's a cloudy day when Sonny pitches.
It's just not though.
That's right. It's not. It's not. There's the bullpen. You see some new relievers down there. Jay Alvarez, of course, Mojica now the closer. How about a 4-pitch walk to the hitter in front of the pitcher?
And a 3-0 curveball.
Pitcher number 30.
Well, he was very good, and it started with Jock Peterson, the leadoff hitter, when he bounced the slider. First of 3 strikeouts that he had with Peterson. That Rondal got him there, and fastball froze. So he had the fastball and he had the sliders working. And when you get that combination, and that was the end of the game. Cap, said it best, a 3-0 curveball to Sam Fold after 2-0 or 3-0, and then saying, "I got the pitch in the on-deck circle. It's not Sonny Gray." Jesse Chavez looking for the hit.
So 1-1 to Jesse. So you got a bunt down in San Francisco. That was 1 at bat. Sacrifice.
It helped that Jake Peavy slipped.
That's right.
When he came into field. Looks for the curve.
Doesn't matter who's up there.
Well, if he tops out about 89 with a fastball, then even though he gets ground balls with the 2 or 4-seam sinker or the 2-seam sinking fastball, and throws the cutter, curveball. Jesse may be just taking all night just to make him throw strikes with his fastball.
Takes a rip at it. So 2-2 the count. Right there, strike 3 called, and that's how the inning ends. 2-out walk, nothing else. Bottom of the second coming up. It'll be Peterson, Guerrero, and Bolsinger. 1-0 Dodgers.
To celebrate the A's fancy footwork with the White Cleats t-shirt giveaway. It's presented by Cache Creek Casino Resort, Saturday, August the 8th. One of the Oakland franchise's most recognizable and iconic trademarks, the White Cleats were the brainchild of Charlie Finley and have been a staple for more than 4 decades. I know JR wants one. Get your tickets for this popular giveaway now at athletics.com or by calling 877-493-BALL. I knew JR was going to ask for one. He just said it.
Well, he asked for everything, right? I mean, every giveaway that we get, we got to send a care package to John Reynolds.
That's right.
In Los Angeles.
What was the one that you wanted? The emojis, that's right. John, do you want the microphone? Turn it up.
Doc Peterson to lead it off, hitting in the 7th spot. Guerrero to follow, and Bolsinger. 21 homers, 43 RBIs for a very talented rookie who's still trying to figure a few things out. He leads the American League now in strikeouts with 122. It's interesting. He's got 122. And Chris Bryant, the fine third baseman for the Cubs, is second with 120. So lots of home runs.
Chris Carter on the list, and he hits monster home runs. The home run leaders, Chris Goldschmidt with the Diamondbacks, always on that list.
Well, Peterson, I think when it's all said and done, will be a very special player.
Yeah. Well, I think for Mark McGwire and John Valentin, the hitting coach and the assistant hitting coach for the Dodgers, had the work cut out. And for a young man who swings hard all the time, trying to get him to think about shortening up. And there's Mark McGwire. And I was talking to Mac, and the one thing I always remembered, and he laughed and confirmed that power hitters typically do not handle the high fastballs. The cutter back door that throws Peterson. But as Mac said, he told Wainwright for St. Louis, he said, you throw that curveball and I'm going to jump all over. Mac could hit speed pitches. He always stayed back, and the perception was you could throw off-speed hitters to pitches to power hitters. You could fool them. You never fool Mark McGwire with an off-speed pitch.
Speed up his bat a little bit.
Absolutely. And he stayed back on the back foot, got a little toe tap, and anything off speed. But if you threw a fastball belt high and up, usually it'd swing right through it.
Good pitch there to Guerrero, and right on the outside corner, 0-2. Guerrero 245, 10 homers, 30 RBIs. Man from Cuba.
You know, the one thing that Mike Aldrete talked about, bench coach for the Athletics over the weekend, how we saw with the Giants, 2-strike hitting, 2-strike approach, going opposite field a lot of times. And what we saw with the Dodgers last night, especially against Sonny Gray with 2 strikes, they were swinging as hard as they were in the first pitch of the at-bat. And you just cannot do that. You have to start thinking about just making contact and put a ball in play. You have a chance to do something with it.
Davis juggles but takes care of it. It's almost like you're seeing what you saw over the weekend and what you're seeing with the Dodgers. 2 good offensive teams, but different.
Absolutely.
Dodgers are just scary where they can hit the ball in the ballpark. Giants just kind of grind you down a little bit.
Well, and that approach and a 2-strike approach where you shorten your swing and you go opposite field means you're staying back longer, seeing the ball longer, and getting your hits. And one of the most frustrating times for a pitcher is to give up a 2-strike hit. And over the weekend, he's got swept. A lot of that because of the 2-strike approach. Don Mattingly knows it from the Yankees. He always hit the ball to the opposite field. He stayed back on it very nicely, but you just sometimes cannot teach that with some of the players, some of the pitchers and hitters.
Dodgers 4th in the National League in runs scored. They're 1st in home runs hit. They're last in stolen bases. That's just not something they do at all. In fact, Kendrick stole in the first inning. That was just their 21st steal of the year. But they walk a lot. They're 1st in the National League in walks.
Jesse Chavez trying to strike out his opposite number as he did against Bolsinger. A little bit different. Bolsinger swings the bat a little bit more.
Strike 3 called on the outside corner. 3 strikeouts for Jesse Chavez, and we're through 2 from Dodger Stadium. It's 1-0 LA. Worlds. You'll never guess who wants to come out and play at Roaring Camp. It's Thomas the Tank Engine and friends. That's who. 1-0 Dodgers lead, top of the third inning. Bolsinger finishing up his warm-up tosses. That'll give us a moment, Ray, to throw this out there. It looks like the Texas Rangers are going to win the Cole Hamels sweepstakes. Reports are now coming in that the deal is done, and so a lot of, I mean, Cole Hamels has been in the rumors for a year and a half, but it is now coming out late this afternoon, and now it's all coming into focus a little bit more. Than when it's all said and done, the Rangers were able to put together the best package.
I can't wait to see the package. I'm sure Josh Hood doing graphics right now, trying to figure it all out and going to show us. But that should be quite interesting, because what is he at 3 years after this year?
Yep.
In his contract, so it's not a rental player.
And that's what made him so attractive. You know you're going to have him, and the Rangers thinking about obviously this year, but putting him next to Yu Darvish into the future, and you can't blame him for being excited about that. So Cole Hamels will be a Texas Ranger. And from what everybody says, you read, the scouts said the Rangers have a terrific minor league system, and listen, that's what the Phillies want. Give me 3 or 4 of your best guys. And
I heard at one time someone said, I think 2 years ago, that the Rangers had a farm system that if you took those players that could play together as a major league team, better than some in the big leagues. So that's how good they were. And evidently are. But it is Wednesday as we speak, and that means essentially 48 hours from right now, decisions will be made. Friday is the deadline, and that is the non-waiver. Does not mean that trades cannot be made. A little bit harder, though, because of some non-waiver now, unless you have a no trade. But also the important date would be the last day of August, because you have to have a player on your roster by the last day of August to make him eligible for postseason for your team. So that's another important date, but it's going to be interesting between the now and Friday to see what happens.
Burns stays alive, rolls at foul. And the Rangers right now are 47-52. They're playing right now. They're leading the Yankees at home 5-2. So they're not completely out of it, but they would need a big final 2 months. Burns is high.
We're sitting in the Texas Rangers Oak Stadium bullpen, 1976. I looked up on the board, as I'm sure if that is consummated, that deal, that the Ranger fans would react maybe the way I did and people around baseball when Charlie Finley announced that he had sold all the players.
It came up on the scoreboard.
Yeah, it came up on the board that Charlie Finley has sold Raleigh Fingers and Joe Ritter, the Boston Red Sox, and Vida Blue. I mean, he knew free agency was coming, and he started unloading. Of course, those trades were disallowed by the commissioner.
So, in 76, you had just left the A's the year before, so you're probably going, I'm not surprised by this craziness here.
Exactly. So Doug McWilliams, I said, Doug, you still have that photograph you took of Raleigh in a Red Sox uniform.
That's right.
And they traded dugouts or clubhouses, but they did not play.
Grounded up the middle. Rollins is right there. Ike Davis is retired. So 2 away here in the top of the third. Yeah, there are rumors flying everywhere. Sounds like the Dodgers have a huge trade in the works. A 3-team deal with the Braves, the Dodgers, and the Marlins. That's going to net the Dodgers a couple of starting pitchers.
We have to wonder, Dave Dombrowski, the president and general manager of the Tigers, has pretty much come out to say that they're 11 behind the Kansas City. They're on 4th place, 13.5 behind. Of course, a much different ball club now. Yeah. But he's starting to talk about the future, which means they've got one guy named David Price. That,
I think he's going to go.
I do too.
And they may be right here.
Cespedes probably. And as Dave Dombrowski said, is a very good president and general manager. Said we're trying to build for the future and try to. And what's interesting, since 2005, they've never been sellers. They've always been buyers. In 2006 is when they swept the A's in the league championship series and went to the World Series and lost to the Cardinals.
that one is looped into center field, and Reddick's got another hit. He is hot. 3 hits last night and 2 hits tonight.
Well, just a great hitter with 2 strikes, and he did it in the first inning with a double down the left field line. 2 strikes here. A little cutter from Bolsinger right back up the middle, and it's a 2-out hit. Nonetheless, he's on base, on the base and trying to get something started with 2 outs.
I will say this though, Ray, with social media now and how it's really changed how everything is covered. I mean, Twitter's great. You get a lot of information on it, but you do see it happen where people jump the gun on these trades. And it's just sort of part of the way sports is covered now with social media. Liner into the glove of Kendrick. Side retired. So Vogt hit it hard, but he's retired. Runner left. Bottom of the 3rd coming up. It's the Dodgers 1 and the A's nothing.
On Extra Mile, when the Oakland A's pay homage to the history of the franchise. Each Throwback Thursday, 5,000 fans will receive a commemorative button. It's highlighting an amazing A's player. For tickets and information, go to athletics.com/Thursday. That will be tomorrow. And the A's are back at the Coliseum to take on, today is Wednesday, right? Yeah, take on the Cleveland Indians starting tomorrow night for 4-game series. These all run into each other.
Well, the 2-game series, too. I'll keep you on the calendar, though. Don't you worry.
Art McGuire looked to next year. He said, you know, the West playing the East. He said they have a schedule. 2 games against the Rays here. 2 games against the Rays down there.
So Rollins is going to head to second, and he's going to dig for third. And he will make it with a head-first slide. Ball stayed in that corner, and by the time Reddick dug it out, Rollins was sliding into third with a leadoff 3-bagger.
There are stadiums similar to this one, because Angel Stadium, where the ball rolls around down in the corner. Think of Fenway Park, where Josh Reddick played, but once it was called fair inside the line, Ike Davis couldn't get to it, called fair by Larry Vanover. Then down in the corner, Josh Reddick cannot go after the ball aggressively. He has to kind of play the carom, almost like bumper pool. Play the carom, a couple of them, and wait for it. If he charges after it, he may overrun the ball. And then, of course, it's the veteran who has not lost his speed. That is Jimmy Rollins with the triple.
So, great opportunity for the Dodgers to add on to their 1-0 lead. Kendrick singled and scored in the first inning. And this is where Kendrick's always been a tough out in his career. He Uses the whole field.
Well, the infield back, they are conceding because Jesse Chavez and A's trying to get outs. They will give up the second run if they can put the ball in play. They being the Dodgers. That's a strikeout 3. You don't have to worry about it. Leave them stranded at third. Probably the A's, if you look at their season so far, you see what Howie Kendrick has done at running the third in less than 2 outs. But probably the one area that the A's can improve on more than anything is this situation. He's trying to get a runner in from third where the infield is back, conceding the run. Just put the ball in play.
And that's a good pitch. Cut fastball inside corner, strike 3 call. Where that ball just cut off the inside corner, and that is a beautiful pitch.
Stephen Vogt moving in, and there it is, and just caught the corner. Of course, the home plate umpire, Brian Knight, on the left shoulder of Stephen Vogt, looking right down the barrel and makes the call. And Kendrick cannot believe it, but that's one strikeout, a big out. Now the infield comes in, as you get Gonzalez, who does not run fast, to hit the ball on the ground. Keep Rollins at third, see if he goes on contact.
And this one's popped up shallow. Sogard hustling out. Reddick coming in. Sogard is going to get back there, and he makes the catch. And that's the second out.
The biggest out is coming up right now because the 2 you don't expect. And I've always thought that the hitter in these situations, it's a no-lose situation for him because the 2 outs, 2 guys before him are supposed to get the hits or drive the runner in. Another cut fastball in on the hands of Gonzalez that he hit it straight up. Josh Reddick might have been late picking it up, but Eric Sogard playing in, even with a bang, able to hustle out and get it. So Jimmy Rollins remains at third. Struck out Grandal with a good cut fastball down and in. First at bat.
Fastball is high to Smiley Grandal, who struck out swinging in the first inning. Grandal has struck out 3 times in this series.
Now you're hoping for a ground ball to the infield. That any other time in this inning other than now would have scored a run, but the A's could get out of this inning with a ground ball, strike out, fly ball, anything. And great job by Jesse Chavez.
Sogard grabs the one hopper, side retired. What a job by Jesse Chavez. Rollins, after the leadoff triple, is stranded at third. Your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag CSNCA Data Strong Fan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's all brought to you by T-Mobile. So it is top of the 4th inning. It'll be Laurie, Sogard, and Simeon. Grandal just getting out there, the catcher. Bolsinger has one more warm-up toss.
And it's down to zeros. Everything's supposed to be
zeros. Let's go.
Yeah. Hitter's supposed to be in the box. They've already announced him. And
we're ready. Are you ready?
Been ready. I mean, you read the promo.
We were ready at like 3:30. We could have did this game at 3:30.
I mean, it was down to 1 second when Grandal finally got there. And come on, Brian Knight. This is a pace of game. You got to get going, man. It's your call.
We're watching you.
Roy Vanover down there pacing at first base. He's the crew chief. Probably wondering what's going on. He said, after all, he visited Vin Scully, man. He's already.
I don't want to make Vinny mad. First pitch to Brett Laurie. Curve drops in first time. Laurie popped out to the shortstop with a couple of runners on in the first. Just a little flare, right field line. Puig racing in, can't get it. And it rolls past him. And Laurie rounds the bag at second, and he puts on the brakes, and it's a double. It's a little flare down the right field line, and Puig just came storming in, and he almost made a sensational play.
Like he might have hurt his stomach, but you know, he almost made the sensational play. But there's a time that you have to decide to shut it down, concede the hit, give a base hit instead of extra bases. Brett Laurie lofted it, sounded like a cracked bat. And no chance for Gonzalez. Puig coming, but once he missed it, trickled past him, and a double for Laurie. He's thinking about 3, but Puig hit the ground hard, still came up about a foot short.
So here's Sogard, who takes a bit high.
Well, this is a great attempt. You get a lot of applause, but man, that's the time just say, okay, it's a base hit, keep the double play in order. The A's take advantage and get the double.
Sogard watches that curveball snap in their first strike. Sogard struck out in the second inning. He knows his job. Infield, or the third baseman anyways, is in. Gonzalez in a little bit at first.
And a curveball, there's what almost happened, trying to pull the ball to the right side to advance Laurie. And curveball coming into the left-hander is a good pitch to do exactly that. Usually try to pitch him away to hit the ball the opposite field, but Sogard, if he gets another curveball, still he maybe try to top hand it regardless.
And he hooks that one foul, so you can see what he's trying to do. And the curveball is a pretty good pitch to pull the ball to the right side for Sogard. Curveball specialist. Throws curveballs 36.5% of the time. A lot more than anybody else.
And that's because when he throws a fastball, he handcuffs his catcher. Who blocked a couple when Volt was hitting. A runner at third. This time with a fastball almost snuck past him. Don't know why it took him so long to get back into the dugout and put on the catching gear, but did take a little bit extra time.
That one rolled foul as Gonzalez picks it up in foul territory. So the A's now with 4 hits in the game. Dodgers with 3. There has not been an error. Simeon to follow. After Simeon, it would be Fold. There's a shot foul. So Sogard doing the best he can to get Laurie over.
I always like to see the professional hitters, those who, even with 2 strikes and still trying to get the job done, to advance the runner, give himself up. That just simply means the top hand. A lot of times you don't want to roll over, but in this case you do. Second sign, fastball away, maybe goes back. So he's using a second sign. That was a 2-1-3. So the 1 being the second sign is a fastball. And as a runner at second, goes through multiple signs.
So full count. And Sogard chased the pitch down and in. And the out will be recorded at first. So Unproductive at bat for Eric Sogard. And he's not going to be happy.
Well, it was ball 4. And Darren Boucher is hitting coach. He has all these numbers. If we know that he throws it curveball 36% of the time, he threw a 3-0 curveball to Sam Fuld, and this is a similar situation. He was hoping for, but not really concerned that if he ended up walking, which he threw ball 4, Rondon another good block, and he gets a strikeout.
Simeon takes a breaking ball for a strike. Another curve, it stays high. Simeon hit a fly ball to right field in the second inning. Almost like Bolsinger uses his curve like most people use their fastball.
Exactly.
Throws it again. 2-1.
Maybe he's throwing it in honor of Clayton Kershaw, who was supposed to pitch.
Right.
Kershaw, one of the best curveballs from the left side anyway. Straight over the top, 12-6. Rondon, his work cut out for him tonight with the curveball in the dirt.
So 2-1. And another curve, and it catches the inside corner.
He's going to throw it, and I'd say look for it. They're on the side of thinking soft with the curveball.
That one's hit hard. Rollins with a dive. He's got no play, but he may have saved a run. So it'll be a hit for Simeon, first and third. But Jimmy Rollins with a nice play. If it gets into left field and Laurie's speed, Laurie more than likely scores.
And he was looking to third as the owner play with Laurie coming in front of him. He looked up but did not have a play, and Guerrero actually put his hand up, said no. It's a good job of adjusting by Marcus Semien. Stayed back, and that probably realized he's going to keep throwing the curveballs. I'm going to look for it and hit it hard. And there's a case of a shortstop playing deep. No double play possibility where he'd been playing a little bit more shallow. He's out on the outfield grass at the edge, able to take the angle and rob Marcus Semien of a run batted in. As if the triple stranded at third, bottom half of last inning, and just saved a run here. Now we'll see what Bolsinger does with Sam Fuld, first and third.
First pitch, curve.
But he threw him the curveball 3-0, and that's the difference with Jesse Chavez in the on deck circle. Talk about decision times for managers, because Jesse will be hitting, but you start playing a National League park and you get an opportunity to score runs knowing the pitcher really does not have much of a chance to do anything. You're tempted to put a pinch hitter in, but not this early.
Way inside, so the count 1-1. That's a huge at bat with that pitcher spot next.
Now the curveball inside, not in the dirt, but still a big save by Rondon to have to go hard to his right. But you think about this at bat. I mean, Jesse Chavez, I don't know if he can put the ball in play, but Bolsinger could pitch around Fuld even with just one out. He could load the bases, and if he gets Chavez, then he faces the top of the order and Burns with the bases loaded with 2 outs.
2 outs. Yeah.
So it's again the disadvantage of pitchers in the American League hitting in National League parks, and the advantage goes to the pitcher, in this case Bolsinger, and Rondon facing the 8th place hitter, knowing the pitcher is in the on deck circle and he will hit.
1-1. Bunted up the first base line, and everybody's going to be safe, and Laurie comes in to score. Beautifully done by Sam Fuld. He just softly rolled it down the first base line, and by the time Gonzalez picked it up, Fuld had ran right by him, and Laurie scored easily.
And look at the pitch. We talk about so many curveballs, and for Sam Fuld, like Eric Sogard, with the ball coming into him, and we've seen Sam do this many times. Kind of reached for this one, but got it perfectly down the first base line, and he was going to get the run batted in, but he got even better with a base hit. Jesse Chavez talking to Mike Gallego at third base, and once Gonzalez fielded the ball, he was just hoping that it was the runner, Semien, trying to go to third to get him. And Sam Fuld, outstanding job.
So we're tied at 1 and a good spot now for the A's because let's see if Jesse Chavez can bunt and get a couple runners in scoring position. Timeout was called by the catcher.
It was a curveball too.
Sure, of course it was.
And Sanford, watch it, just pulls it to the first base side. That's a great job. I mean, just happy to get the run in.
And that one bunted. And Gonzalez, it looked like he was going to take a shot at second. He decides to get the out at first. So nice job by Jesse Chavez. He gets a sacrifice down. Second and third, 2 outs.
Jesse could not have been happy.
So now Burns will try to give the A's the lead. Needs a 2-out hit. He has singled and he has fouled out in the first pitch. There's a curveball and a swing is called. Burns was 1 for 4 last night, scored a run, so 2 for 6 in the series. Just a bit outside. Good speed with Simeon at third and Fuld at second. Outfield shallow.
And talking about Jimmy Rollins with Marcus Simeon is playing on the outfield grass. Still no double play possibility or even a force. Look where he's playing with Billy Burns. That's the difference of the speed of Billy Burns. That they have to cheat in almost halfway.
To third. Guerrero has it. Throws in time. Side retired. A's get a run on 3 hits. So we're headed to the bottom of the 4th. It's a new ball game. A's 1. Dodgers 1. There's my partner. Second inning solo shot off Don Sutton. And that was the clinching game at the Coliseum. And there's my man Ray. You still move around like that?
Yeah, right.
All right. Once you hit a home run, you can walk around if you want. He's won the game 3-2. Won the series 4-1. There's your series MVP. Raleigh Fingers had a win and 3 saves. Home runs for the A's. Ken Holzman hit one. Joe Rudy hit one a little bit later on in Game 5.
Yes, he did. That was after the smoke bomb was thrown on left field, and Mike Marshall was the pitcher. And Mike Marshall did not take a warm-up toss. He said, I don't need it. I studied kinesiology at University of Minnesota. First pitch to Joe Rudy, home run, gone. Left field line. I asked the Hall of Fame broadcaster Vince Scully, I said, were you there? And he said, yeah, I did half the games on TV and half on radio. That's when Monty Moore talked about doing some games because they would have the hometown announcers broadcast to the network. And so Monty Moore did some broadcasting. Of course, we know about Vince Scully.
174. First 2 games of that series were played right here at Dodger Stadium, and then games 3, 4, and the eventual clincher game 5 was at the Coliseum. In fact, your home run one sailed right over the barbecue terrace, which was not there in 1960.
And the upper deck was open.
The upper deck was open. 3-1 to Ethier. Puig to follow, then Peterson. A 1-1 game. There's a shot, and it is fair. Like it went right on the chalk. Reddick picks it up. Ethier will head into second, and he's got a leadoff double.
Well, really, that's why it was important for Jesse Chavez after Rollins had tripled last inning. And they got to strike you out, a pop up and a ground ball. And maybe Jesse checking if it's fair or foul. I mean, it was hit hard. Just a question. It's past Larry Vanover. I didn't see any chalk. Did you, Pat?
Now something flew up. I don't know what it was.
Let's see if it's right there. See if something. Larry Vanover, the veteran umpire, just turned around and he had a pretty good shot at it.
It's going back in. So it's going to stay as a double.
It was Andre Ethier who got the 2-out base hit in the first at bat to drive home the run, and that's why, again, getting the 3 outs following the triple without seeing Ethier coming up again with 2 outs. Now Jesse again in trouble. Leadoff triple last inning, leadoff double this inning. And a very aggressive Yasiel Puig at the plate. He actually saw 4 pitches his first at bat.
So Puig steps in. And the first pitch is line to left, full back, gone. It's a home run. It rolled back onto the field, but it cleared the wall, and a line drive home run by Puig to give the Dodgers a 3-1 lead. Did not take long to get out.
No, it didn't. Hanging cut fastball and top hand following the double down the right field line, and Puig line drive. Look where it stayed, right up in the middle of the zone, and see the ball kind of spinning funny. Jesse Chavez talked about kind of a different 2-seam fastball that wants to go down. It's supposed to go down. That didn't go down. That stayed up, and that was almost like a batting practice fastball.
So here's Peterson, swings at the first pitch toward Laurie, and a step into foul territory. He's got it. So 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th.
Well, it's Puig bobblehead night, and of course for the fans, and for Puig just barely. Actually went over and then hit hard to the concrete and rolled back. Sam Fuld went back. He didn't have much of a chance to do anything.
That's the 9th home run that Jesse Chavez has allowed this year. And Alex Guerrero steps in. Guerrero swings at a pitch that was well off the plate. He rolls it foul. Simeon scoops it up, and that's out number 2. So a chance for a shutdown inning, but Chavez can't get it done. It's a little frustrating.
Especially to leave a pitch up like that. You know, if you make a mistake, power hitters are going to hit them, and you're not going to be able to get by with it.
First pitch to Bolsinger, fastball, first strike. Bolsinger struck out looking in his first at bat. He swings and misses, side retired, but Yasiel Puig on the night that it's Puig bobblehead here at Dodger Stadium. He homers, 2-run shot, 3-1 Dodgers.
Again and again and again with the Mike Gallego Windmill Wind-Up Toy presented by Advantel Networks on Sunday, August the 2nd. 15,000 fans will receive the first of its kind giveaway of the A's third base coach when the A's take on the Cleveland Indians in a Sunday matinee. Get your tickets today at athletics.com or you can call 877-493-BALL. Mike Gallego saw it firsthand and he said, I like it. I like it too. I think it's going to be fun. It kind of resembles Gags, and see Gags wave some people home. That guy got to trot home and get handshake without being waved home. I see a Puig with a 2-run home run to give the Dodgers the 3-1 lead.
So it'll be Davis, Reddick, and Vogt for the A's here in the top of the 5th. Still time as A's now trail 3-1.
So you'd have to think for the A's seeing Mike Bolsinger for the first time. Most of the hitters. Ike Davis actually seen him. I don't know if he ever faced him, but he saw him. But, you know, they have a pretty good idea of what they're going to be seeing. And that's called the curveball. Yep. He's thrown enough of them. And this is the 3rd time through the batting order. And I don't think his pattern has really changed that much. Saying the old go-to pitch is his curveball.
And now it's 3-0. So the A's need a couple base runners, get something going here in the 5th. They got a hot hitter in Reddick coming up next. 3-0 delivery is right there with a fastball first strike. Have been ball 4. So full count to Davis, who has hit into a double play and then grounded to short. Payoff pitch, and it's a bit high, and it's a leadoff walk. So good start. Let's finish up the 1974 World Series.
Don Joshua facing Raleigh Fingers at Tampa back to Raleigh. Said, I got it, I got it, I got it. 5-game championship. There comes Captain Sal. Just jumped. I had neck surgery that year, and he just crushed my neck. But it's all right. It was worth it. 5-game series. Used 5 pitchers in the 5-game World Series. And I think one of the best was here, game 1, when Catfish Hunter had defeated the Orioles to bring us the World Series, and it was warming up game 1. And Almondart called down and said, "Are you ready?" He said, "For what?" He said, "To come in to save the game," and he did. Saved it with the 9th inning save, and started by Kenny Holtzman. Raleigh Fingers at about a 3 to 4 innings and stay hot.
Wow, is he hot. So Reddick is 3 for 3, 6 hits in the series, 2 on, nobody out.
And every one of Josh Reddick's swing last night and tonight has been the same. Just nice and easy, very confident. High cutter that time out of the strike zone, but he jumped on it. But the fact that he's letting the ball come to him and using the whole field is just remarkable.
So here's Vogt. Well, then that series, every game was final score 3 to 2. Wasn't it?
They were close. Yeah, I mean, it was the same way. And that's a lot of offense, but great pitching.
First pitch to Vogt. Curve is high. Vogt has walked and he has lined out. Laurie to follow. So great opportunity for the A's, trailing 3 to 1. Vogt hits it hard right to Kendrick. Spins to second for 1. Back to first, double play. Second double play hit him too.
That's the big one. And Ike Davis in the first inning, Stephen Vogt here, and get something going, and then your ground ball pitcher, that's what can happen. 4 to 6 to 3, and that quickly a double play. Josh Reddick tried his best, and Jimmy Rollins has experienced that enough. Ball hit hard enough to Kendrick, and Rollins got it quickly enough to stand and not be really concerned about the charging Josh Reddick.
So 2 outs now with a runner at third as Davis, as Laurie hits. Laurie doubled and scored in the 4th. And he lines one right center field, a base hit. And that's going to roll to the wall. Davis scores, and Laurie has his second double, and it's 3 to 2. Ball was down, away, and Laurie just lined it to the gap.
Well, we have shown the numbers for Brett Laurie with 2 outs, runners in scoring position. The curveball stayed back, and when he hit it to right center, the ball was a bullet all the way to the wall. And Brett Laurie, really, you're helping him by throwing the off-speed pitch, because his swing, with a lot of movement with his swing, he can handle the off-speed pitches. So it comes up with a big 2-out double and another base hit, and the A's have tied the game.
So now Sogard will have a shot. Sogard takes a fastball right there first time. Sogard has struck out twice, both times swinging. That doesn't happen very often. Sogard doesn't strike out very much. Flips this one to left. Ethier's right there. Side retired. So the A's get a run back. Laurie with a 2-out RBI double. Bottom of the 5th coming up. Dodgers 3, A's 2.
Mark McGwire bobblehead giveaway driven by Chevrolet. Big Mac will be on hand as we honor his A's career. The all-time A's home run leader helped the A's reach 3 straight World Series from 1988 to 1990 and win the title in '89. For tickets, call 877-493-BALL or visit athletics.com. Mark McGwire, and there it was, and there it goes. That straightaway center field at Tiger Stadium. That's 440 feet. Chet Lemon going back, no chance. That ball was crushed. Then 1987, Mark Langston. Ball hit hard, and another one hit. Jay Howe gave it up. That was Game 3 of the World Series. The only game the A's won against the Dodgers in 1988. That was the walk-off by Mac. There he is, and he's with the Dodgers now, and of course in St. Louis under Tony La Russa as the hitting coach with Mike Aldrete as his assistant. Came out to Los Angeles and he couldn't be happier because he said he's about an hour away each way from his home. Family's here, so all is good for Mark McGwire right down in Southern California where he grew up. A pitcher for Southern Cal. USC was a pitcher. Tried third, he was horrible, finally went to first base, and a lot of success.
So they had Mark McGwire and Randy Johnson at the same time at USC.
How about that? I thought our good friend Chip Hale said it best when he was commenting on Randy Johnson. First at bat, high school, Randy Johnson. He said he just stood there scared to death. Said he walked. Faced him again when he went to Arizona, and Randy was at USC. Stood there, took it. I mean, can you imagine a man 6'10" out on the mound and has no idea where he's throwing it at that time?
And Chip batted left-handed, too.
Yes, he did. We'll be seeing Chip Hale and
Sogard comes it.
Let's go to Phoenix to take on the Diamondbacks at the end of August.
Fernando Abad starting to get loose a little bit.
Jesse Chavez due up third, and of course in Ashley Park. That's what you're concerned about.
Juan Nicasio for the Dodgers. And the Astros beat the Angels again, Ray. Second night in a row. 6-3 the final from Houston.
Second night in a row, Mike Trout's out. He had a wrist injury.
McCullers beaten Garrett Richards. Lance McCullers gets his 5th win, the young rookie, and he's got a 2.48 ERA. 31,000 at Minute Maid Park tonight. So what that does is that gives the Astros first place back. So the Astros have now won 7 out of 9. The Angels, they had such a hot stretch. They have now lost 5 out of 6. So there you go. So Scott Kazmir will pitch tomorrow for the Astros against one of his old teams. So in a very short period of time, the Astros have picked up games and overtaken the Angels for first place. So how about that?
4 pitches to Adrian Gonzalez in his first at bat, all outside. He walked it, and that contributed to the Dodgers scoring a run. The next time, had a runner third, 1 out. Good cut fastball in, popped him up. Now 3 out of the strike zone, away, and then finally threw a strike. And again outside.
Well, the 2-out walk, second walk for Gonzalez. So 2 walks, 4 strikeouts for Jesse Chavez. Rangers beat the Yankees 5-2. That's game 3 of a 4-game series down in Arlington. Colby Lewis got his 11th win in 6 innings. So the Rangers now 48-52, and looks like they will have Cole Hamels in the fold soon. Tanaka took the loss for the Yankees. He's now 7-4. 1-1 the count to Yasmani Grandal. The Rangers will stay home. The Rangers will host the Giants this weekend. That one's popped up. Stephen Vogt did not see it right away, but it's well back in his seats. Dodgers and the Giants are now tied for first place in the National League West, pending the outcome of this game.
Vin Scully does a nice little open for the fans here at Dodger Stadium. Of course, he's on television, simulcast the first 3 innings, and then exclusively on TV the final, the rest of the game. But he does a Diamond Vision, kind of an open, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and asked him about that. There's the great Hall of Famer, Boyd next to him. But he said, you know, people hear him on radio and TV, but people at the park never get to see him. So he does this little ad lib, 2 to 3, 4 minutes, whatever it might be, talking about the series at hand, which is this one.
Hit very hard to Simeon, who scoops it up. Well, we're right next to him, and that makes us feel pretty good. Vince Scully, a great one. 6th inning coming up, 3-2 Dodgers. Fridays are back at the Coliseum. We got one coming up this Friday. It'll be against the Indians. Get a ticket in our value deck behind home plate. You get the authentic A's fan catcher backpack. There it is. It's pretty good looking too. You get a cheer card and you're going to get a $6 food and drink voucher, all for one great price. The best deal in Bay Area baseball is Comcast Sportsnet's Authentic Fan Friday. So 3-2. Dodgers lead the A's, and it's to the bullpen for the Dodgers. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. It's the right-hander Juan Nicasio, appearing in his 34th game. He's 1-3 with a 3.19 ERA.
A lot of pitches for Bolsinger, but you go from a guy that throws nothing but curveballs to a right-hander who can get it up to about 97 miles per hour with a fastball. A couple of different fastballs, slider and changeup, but Nicasio and Jesse Chavez due up 3rd in this inning, so I'm sure the A's bullpen will start moving around. We'll see what Bob Millman decides. Pitch count's good for Jesse. It's just the A's are trailing by a run, and pitcher spot is up 3rd in this inning. Get a couple of runners on, let Jesse bunt him over like he did his last at bat, though there was already 1 out. There's your good heater, 95.
So 90 pitches for Bolsinger. And the curveball breakdown. Seemed like he threw more than that. So 0-2 to Marcus Simeon, who has hit a fly ball to right field, and he has singled. There's a liner, short hopped. Rollins throws in time. So 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. And that'll bring up Sam Ford.
It looked like initially it might be heading into center field, but the slider to Simeon. And Jimmy Rollins from the Bay Area, like Marcus Simeon, also from the Bay Area. So a couple of Northern California young men.
So see if Sam Fold can get aboard. Outside corner, 96 miles an hour. Pitcher spot next, so Billy Butler comes out. Fastball is high. Troy Tulowitzki today in his first game with the Toronto Blue Jays batted first.
They want to get the standing ovation out of the way early, huh? Struck out in his first at bat. I don't know what he did after that.
It was pretty good after that. Second at bat, he had a home run.
Beautiful. Great.
And then when the day was done, he was 3 for 5 with a homer, 2 doubles, and 3 RBIs for Troy Tulowitzki.
Blue Jays win?
They did, yes.
Well, that's a good day for Tulowitzki. That'd be very emotional for him. A lifelong Colorado Rocky.
Yeah, they did. They won 8-2 over the Phillies.
What was that, 2005, top draft choice, and made a comment about it. He said it'd be hard to walk in a clubhouse and not see purple.
We'll see blue and red. Blue Jays back to 500 at 51 and 51. Troy Tulowitzki with the Blue Jays. That's a bit strange.
Yeah. Well, a big pitch for the A's, and Sam Fold, if he gets on, does Jesse Chavez bunt him over? Does Billy Butler still hit? Not with that pitch, right? Yeah, it's going to be another hitter. It's going to be Billy Butler is not going to hit. It's going to be Jake Smolinski.
So Smolinski will hit with 2 outs, nobody aboard.
That is a good fastball hitter. Maybe he can get into one like he did last night and pull it a little bit more towards left field and hit his 3rd home run as a member of the Athletics. Hit 2 last Sunday in the 5 home run game for the Athletics.
So quick meeting going over the scouting report on Jake Smolinski. Jesse Chavez goes 5 innings tonight. Smolinski steps in. The A's had Monday off, and then Sonny Gray complete game shutout last night, so the bullpen is plenty rested.
And they were used a lot over the weekend. The starting pitchers went short against the Giants. And of course, remember last Thursday is when Scott Kazmir was traded. That's when Drew Palmer had stepped in to start, just an inning and 2/3.
So they needed a 2-day break. Because the A's get busy. Starting with this 2-game series here and then the 11-game homestand. For 13 consecutive days they would play. 1-2 the count. Smolinski hitting for Jesse Chavez. And the fastball fouls it into the upper deck. Well, Bolsinger and now Nicasio. Fernando Abad is going to be the guy for the A's. Long look in by Nicasio. Now he's ready. And Smolinski, 1 around. So that's how the inning ends. Couple of strikeouts for Juan Nicasio. And we're going to go to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's the Dodgers 3 and the A's 2.
Wine, first inning, Andre Ethier with a 2-out run-scoring base hit. Gave the Dodgers an early 1-0 lead, but the A's were timed with a Samfold bunt to score the first run. Scoring Brett Lawrie, who had doubled, but then Yasiel Puig, a booming line drive, 2-run home run off of a hanger from Jesse Chavez, 3-1. The A's came back and made it a 1-run game with this 2-out RBI double by Brett Lawrie to right center, and that was for Ike Davis, who had walked. So Brett Lawrie, a good night, as well as Andre Ethier and Yasiel Puig. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PICK. ATT, mobilizing your world. JT.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change tune-up and smog experts. Fernando Abad comes in, the left-hander. Appearance number 37. The ERA has been steadily going down.
Well, with all the bullpen pitchers pitching well, getting a lot of opportunities, and starting to see the ERA starting to drop, which is what you want.
He's allowed 2 earned runs in his last 15 1/3 innings.
I think with the trade of Tyler Clippard to the Mets, it kind of opens up a bullpen. I mentioned Mujica would be the pitcher is going to be closing for the Athletics with Clippard gone, but it is interesting with Papelbon being traded. Drew Story. As he is 29 for 31. Let's see the line for Jesse Chavez, 79 pitches, a couple of walks, 5 strikeouts.
Drew Storen now going to be set up there.
Yeah, how about that? That's what's kind of interesting, and it's not like he hasn't had success.
Nope. And Otero starts to throw, and Papelbon going to the Nationals, and the Nationals, of course, right in the thick of everything. They lead the East.
I guess they've had some problems in the past in postseason, and so they wanted to fortify the bullpen. But Tyler Clippard closed for the Nationals a couple years ago in 2012 when Drew Storen took over.
Nationals trying to hold off the Mets in the National League East. Foul straight back with a fastball, 94 miles an hour from Abad.
Abad has a good one, and Ethier is 2 for 2 tonight. Those hits coming off Jesse Chavez, and Fernando Abad, I think, starting to use more and more the fastball that he throws very, very well. And the hard breaking ball, the Bugs Bunny changeup to lefties is not that great of a pitch. Right-handers floating away from them is okay, but not to lefties that has a tendency to come back into the wheelhouse.
This one hit toward left, full backs up. He's got it. So Ethier is retired for the first time.
And that's how you challenge somebody that hits the ball well, as Ethier does, but lefty on lefty, throw him a mid-90s fastball and could not pull it.
So here's Puig. Biggest hit in the game, a 2-run homer in the 4th inning. It broke the 1-1 tie. First pitch to Puig is low. Diamondbacks beat the Mariners 8-2, so Seattle has lost 3 in a row, and they are now 10 games under 500. 46 and 56 are the Mariners.
It's King Felix, wasn't it?
Yeah, he got knocked around. Abad grabs it, and that's out number 2.
Abad threw that ball to first base just like Puig ran to first, slowly, softly. Nice pitch by Abad, getting Puig, who had homered his last at bat.
So Abad gets the first 2 outs, and now he'll face Jock Peterson. Felix Hernandez gave up 7 runs and 12 hits in 6 2/3 innings today in his loss.
I don't know whoever he pitches against next, but
look at that. He's mad.
Exactly.
He's now 12-6 on the year with the loss today. The Mariners are going to have to make a decision in the next 24 hours. They have some tradable parts. See Iwakuma's name up. Yeah. Iwakuma's pretty good.
That would have to be very hard for a Mariners team that in the offseason they were odds-on favorite to win everything. J.P. Howe, the veteran left-hander, getting loose.
Austin Jackson's going to be a free agent.
Yeah.
I think a team to take him. And a swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. The high expectation teams doesn't always work out that way. Boy, we have seen it this year. If you think about the Red Sox, Tigers are kind of hanging around. Seattle, just to name a few. Laurie near the seats. How about Miami? They had high expectation.
What do they say that in the National League, if the season ended today, which you always hear that, it'd be the exact same as last year as far as the division winners, the wild card participants.
I think you're right.
And all of them named, but still 2 months remaining. A's playing game number 102. A lot of baseball left. 60 games, a long part of the season. The most grueling, but the most fun part of the season.
2-2. You know, it's funny. A month ago, the White Sox were dead in the water. Now the White Sox won again today. They have won 7 in a row. They're 49-50, and I believe they're 4 games back in the wild card.
Yeah,
they're not going to trade anybody now.
Well, that was the thing. Samardzija was gone, and now all of a sudden, no, let's not hurry. But that's great. How things can change quickly.
Good pitch, slider inside corner, strike 3 call. Peterson strikes out for the 2nd time tonight and the 5th time in this series.
With MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcast, statcast, and more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or your tablet. JR's got his tablet right now. He's working on his tablet. That's all he's doing. John Reynolds, stage man.
So top of the order for the Athletics, trailing 3-2, top of the 7th inning. Burns 1 for 3. Nicasio, his 2nd inning of work. 6th inning, got a ground out and a couple of strikeouts. just a bit outside.
You know, just think about Billy Burns and how much better he is going to be when he does what he's doing in this at bat, taking close pitches. Just trying to get on base. He's down a run. The infield playing very, very shallow all the way around.
And now 3-0. Boy, wouldn't it be nice to get Burns out?
But look at the infield. It's like the great Ricky Henderson. When Ricky walked, it was like a double because he was still. Billy Burns is the same, very capable of doing the same thing.
Not close. 4-pitch walk to lead off the 7th. J.P. Howe, the left-hander, is ready to go on the bullpen.
Ike Davis.
We got Ike Davis. We also have Billy Butler on the bench, and we'll see if Don Mattingly comes out and makes a change, and it's going to be a double switch as goes straight to the umpire, and that's the old indication of the double switch. The left fielder Ethier is going to come out.
It looks like Scott Van Slyke who's heading in. So the lefty Howe coming in. We'll see if Bob Melvin counters. And I think he's going to. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and spa experts. The 1988 World Series Game 1. Kirk Gibson. What a knife right in the heart of the Athletics. Boy, an unbelievable moment. One of the biggest moments in World Series history. Gibson limped up to the plate. Got one pitch he could handle. He hit it out.
You know where I was?
Where were you?
I was in the home clubhouse ready to interview a star of the A's player. And then I said, uh-oh. Got to shift gears. John Reynolds, our great stage manager. You know what he just said? The great mystery in Los Angeles. What happened to the ball that Gibson hit? Nobody knows where that ball is.
Somebody's got it.
Somebody, but they have not come forward. 1988 when that happened. Yet here we are in 2015. Still out there somewhere. That is J.P. Howe, Josh Fegley, the pinch hitter. Probably were staying to catch, and Stephen Vogt to first base. So interchangeable parts for the Athletics. The speed of Billy Burns at first.
So we showed you the great 1974 World Series. Scott Van Slyke now in left field. He'll hit 9th. He's won that one. Dodgers won in '88. 2 times they've squared off in the World Series. Fegley fouls it back.
Kirk Gibson's knees were so bad, he was in the clubhouse, wasn't even out on the field, and then one at bat, and that was it.
That's it. Give me one.
3-1 backdoor slider. They still say that that's what Eck liked to throw, and that count. Ron Hansey was catching, and that was it. Dodgers won 4 of 5. The only game we showed the walk-off Mark McGwire against Jay Howe. It's game 3 at the Coliseum, and
so the Dodgers won games 1, 2, 4, and 5.
Or Hershiser when Gibson hit that home run in game 1. Hershiser had just pitched, I think, against the Pirates.
Yeah.
And he didn't. He was going to pitch game 2. Well, the way he was pitching, they figured they were going to win game 2. And that's why it was important for the A's to win the first game. And Canseco hit the grand slam. But they came back and won that one. And, of course, Hershiser was lights out game 2.
What was it, Belcher start game 1 for the Dodgers? I think it was Tim Belcher.
And the cameraman in left center was a shot for Canseco's slam. Hit the camera in center field or left center. That's all the scoring for the A's.
Fegley bounces it into left field, and that's a base hit. Found the hole on the left side. 2 on and nobody out. Also keep this in mind, Ray. J.P. Howe is the only left-hander the Dodgers have in their bullpen.
Yeah, and Josh Fegley got the changeup, and Fegley, he has to be feeling so great that he's put in this situation. His catching has been just off the charts. Done a great job catching, throwing, blocking balls, coming up with a big hit like that. But in this case, really, of course, I don't know exactly what Bob Milton's going to do, but he has the option of putting Vogt at first, where he's played first. Fegley behind the plate to keep both catchers in the lineup. But right now, trying to at least tie and retake the lead. First and second, nobody out with Josh Reddick up.
Reddick is 6 for 7 in this series. And the first pitch is bounced and bobbled, and everybody's safe. Kendrick was going to spin and throw to second, juggled it, then he was going to throw to first, and he juggled it again. And it's going to be a straight error, and the bases are loaded with nobody out.
And the best case scenario for him to get the lead runner at second. Worst case to get Reddick at first. The real worst case is he got nobody because he tried to hurry. And how many times when you see the bobble and then you panic? Oh, I got to hurry, and can't pick up the ball, and you know it at that point. He started 2 double plays tonight as Kendrick, and one of them was this hitter at the plate, the other Ike Davis in the first.
So here is Vogt. First pitch to Vogt. The slider drops in there for a strike. Burns at third, Fegley at second, and Reddick at first. It's the 43rd error of the year for the Dodgers, fewest in the National League. These will try to make him pay for that one.
He got a walk and an error in the same inning. It's kind of a screwball from J.P. Howe. Lefty on lefty, and he dropped it in, and oh, what an excellent changeup.
So Vogt's going to have to battle back. He's down 0-2. Laurie is the on-deck hitter.
And puts the ball in play. Double play is going to tie the game.
And he chased a slider and he strikes out.
Well, we said earlier about the A's running third, less than 2 outs. It's been tough for them, and Stephen Vogt just flailed at a pitch out of the strike zone, and that gave Howe, with the fact that he was ahead in the count, the ability to be able to do exactly that, try to get somebody to chase, and Stephen Vogt did.
So Stephen Vogt really struggling right now, and see if Laurie can come through. Laurie's got a couple of doubles tonight and an RBI.
Now tops out in the upper 80s. Good changeup, which he threw to Fegley, which he singled, and then some real good ones to Stephen Vogt that he swung and missed, unfortunately.
First pitch to Laurie. Is that a screwball, something like that?
Yeah, it's a changeup, but it comes out of his hand like a screwball, and it's.
And I saw 87 miles an hour, and it just kind of floats a little bit.
But it really kind of the pronation that you see pitchers, lefties or righties, but when he throws it, you can almost see the screwball effect where he really turns his wrist over and floats the ball in. But Josh Reddick How many times you see it with Gonzalez off the line? A ground ball, your job as a first base runner to get hard in the second. And you can get off as far as Adrian Gonzalez is off and can do that.
Swing and a miss. Chased a pitch that was not a strike, and it's 1-1.
Well, he's going to stay soft. I mean, he doesn't throw hard. If he's throwing a fastball, it's going to be just show. So you can stay back. You can afford to stay back. And the way Bolsinger threw the breaking ball to Laurie that he hit the double to right center, you know he can stay back and still drive the ball to the opposite field.
And there's a shot left center field and a base hit. 1 run scores. Here comes Fegley. Throw to the plate late, and the A's have the lead. A 2-run single for Brett Laurie. 4-3 Athletics here in the 7th.
Didn't hit it hard, which probably is the best thing, but again coming through off speed, similar pitch that he swung and missed. But this time got the bad head through the zone. And Van Slyke just in with the double switch, strong throw. Not enough time because the runner at second and Fegley got the good read off the ball, hit into left center. And that is the aggressiveness of Mike Gallego. I still would rather see a third base coach the way Mike Gallego is to not hesitate. Guys know that they get close to third, he's going to be sending them. Brett Laurie, 3 runs batted in, but Mike Gallego, I mean, sure, you can say he's had some thrown out, but bottom line, he's aggressive. Maybe if we can get the shot of Brett Laurie is getting loose again as Baez did last night. But Brett Laurie had the helmet off, showing he got a haircut. And let's see that line. He was asking Marcus Semien that line on the left side of his head, and he said that's called a knock. Well, a knock is a base hit. He got 2 of them tonight, so he may be back in the barber's chair again tomorrow. He's got the knocks tonight. Brett Laurie, that's right. There are 3 hits, 2 doubles, a single, and 3 runs batted in.
And here's Sogard. He watches that one drop down and away. 1-0. So 2 singles, a walk, an error, and the A's have scored twice here in the 7th inning. Sogard, 2 strikeouts and a fly ball to left field. Reddick at second. Laurie at first. Plenty of speed on the bases for the A's. Sogard's average sitting at 243.
Well, your point about only 1 lefty in the bullpen, and that says a lot. How Tampa Bay, a lot of success here, not really overpowering. That's what really helps all hitters, even lefties. They don't have to expect too much from the lefty. And Nolan's done a good job blocking pitches in the dirt tonight. Can't do anything about the hanging changeups in the hitter's eyes.
In the dirt, blocks that one. 2-2. A's have out-hit the Dodgers 10-5 in this game. Brett Laurie, the hitting star tonight, with the 3 hits and the 3 RBIs. Sogard just got a piece of it, fouls it straight back to the screen. Stephen Volt's feeling a little bit better.
Yeah, exactly.
Picked up by Brett Laurie after Vogt struck out. Sogard protecting.
And that's how you do it. That was a fastball. That's the best bolt thrown from Howard. That's as hard as he can throw it. And Sogard, perhaps with 2 strikes, just trying to look for something off speed, but he gets the fastball up in the zone, swings late. That's a protecting swing. And kind of indicating that he is looking for something off speed. And That's what a pitcher and catcher a lot of times will look at, the way the hitter does swing.
Runners go on 2-2. Pitch is high and everybody's safe. Reddick to third. Laurie to second. Give them each a stolen base.
Big jumps, nobody holding them, and that's just with one out. Now the infield,
that's big.
Yeah, it's huge. The infield has to come in now. Yeah, he slid hard in the bag. Reddick did, buckled his knee, his right knee. Of course, that's the same backside where he ripped his pants last night.
So the infield indeed in. 3-2 pitch, chopped over and into center field. A base hit. One run scores. Laurie scores. Sogard, a little bouncer right up the middle. It's a 2-run single, and the A's lead 6-3. If the runners don't steal the pitch before, it's probably a double play.
That's exactly right. Because just over the head with the infield in. And all this really is on J.P. Howe, because he allowed the stolen bases, and then change up. And Howe no chance, and that's how close Rollins came to it. But that would have been right over the bag if he's in normal position. Rollins steps on the bag, gets the double play instead. 2 big runs score. And that's going to be it. Don Mattingly coming out. So a walk, an error, a strikeout, but now 3 hits, 2 of them driving in 2 runs each.
So a performance to forget for J.P. Howe, and the A's have scored 4 times here in the 7th, and they're still batting. Baez coming in. A's now lead 6-3.
'90s on 90s Music Fireworks Night, presented by Chevron Techron Advantage Credit Card on Friday, July the 31st. That will be number 4 of 6 coming up day after tomorrow. Fans can watch the post-game fireworks show from the outfield grass, but as always, on-field capacity is limited. Get your tickets today at athletics.com/fireworks. Friday night, Coliseum. The A's will be back starting tomorrow night for a long homestand through this weekend. Next week, you can see Brent Laurie with that little cut, the knock on the side of his head. He's got 3 knocks tonight. Should have put 3 lines in there. Well, the double steal, and Josh Reddick started to go head first, it looked like, and then feet first, left foot into the bag, then the right buckled. No throw by Grandal. Guerrero tried to hold him up, and it just looked like he was going to go head first, then change direction, decided to go feet first, and all he had to do is stand up. Got such a big jump.
So this is Baez. And the first pitch is hit into the second level down the right field line. So Pedro Baez, 2-2, 2.93 ERA. He pitched in last night's game. And the Dodgers only have 6 relievers. They have 1 extra position player if you're going by the 12-man pitching rotation. 5 starters, 7 relievers. Semien is 1 for 3 tonight. He had a base hit in the 4th inning. He's have scored 4 times in this inning. It's up and in, 1-1 the count. So 11 hits now for the Athletics, 3 of them coming here in this 7th inning.
Nicasio, 3 up, 3 down in the 6th, starts the 7th, walks the leadoff batter on 4 pitches, Billy Burns. Up by a run, and the A's started with a walk, single, E4, could have been 1 out, strikeout, double steal. All good things happening for the Athletics and resulted in a big inning for them.
Slider and a good one. So 1-2 to Marcus Semien with Fold to follow. Still only 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Dodgers will have tomorrow off, and they will host the Angels over the weekend. So that's a big series. Kendrick, the second baseman, steps out onto the grass. He has it. So 2 outs here in the 7th inning. In fact, the Dodgers and the Angels have not played yet this year. So they have 6 games to play against each other.
Freeway series. They have it in spring training. 3 games before the beginning of the season, then 3 here, regular, and 3 up there.
Both teams in the heat of respective pennant races. Those are big series.
Well, it's going to be hot and heavy the last 2 months of the season. Get to the trade deadline on Friday, and then the teams will have put their players and teams together and try to see what they can do the final 2 months. And it's amazing what the A's are capable of doing. And all you have to do is look at 2012. And sure, you look at a different club, but look, the A's came out of nowhere. He ended up guaranteeing the wild card on Monday, winning the division on Wednesday, and that man will play it right down to the end and play hard every game, regardless of the players he has, and that's what makes him an exceptional manager.
Oh, 1 to Sam Fold. Move it outside. So Howell goes a 1/3 of an inning and gives up 3 hits and 3 runs. No walks and a strikeout.
Think of the 2 hits. He jammed Brett Lawrie and allowed the double steal and the high chopper over his head in the center field for the other 2 runs.
Well, he came in, Howell did, after Burns got that leadoff walk. Butler out in the on-deck circle. That's the pitcher spot. Fernando Rodriguez getting ready. Abad pitched the 6th inning. Hit hard under the glove of the diving Gonzalez. And hustling is Reddick. He'll go to 3rd, or make that Sogard, excuse me. Puig dropped it momentarily. He was going to come up throwing.
Yes, he was.
And it would have been something to see, because he has a terrific arm. He let it trickle past him, and Sogard, who was going to 3rd anyways.
Another high fastball similar to the one that was bunted by Sam Fold to plate the 1st run. I'll make it the 2nd run, and that is a excellent job of hitting. You're right, the 360 spin by Puig. Thinking of the great late Roberto Clemente, used to make that play. A little bit more consistent with his throws than Puig.
Yeah.
Very accurate with his throw. He could do it as well as anybody. Great Dave Parker also playing right field with a very strong arm. The Cobra. Air out some great throws to the bag.
So Billy Butler pinch hits. He's hitting in the pitcher spot. He goes after the first pitch, hits one high. Foul territory. Puig. He ran a long ways. and about 100 yards it looked like. But when it's all said and done, the A's score 4 times here in the 7th inning. So 7th inning stretch from Dodger Stadium coming up. And now it's the Athletics 6 and the Dodgers 3. A 6-3 lead here at Dodger Stadium. Got 9 outs to go to get a win. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. Fernando Rodriguez comes in here in the 7th. Abad with a 3-up, 3-down 6th inning. Here's your changes. Stephen Vogt is now at first base. And Fegley is now the catcher. And Alex Guerrero leading things off. First pitch is looped down the right field line, foul. Oh for 2 tonight is Guerrero. He has grounded out twice. Once to first and once to short. And this one's hit just below us. Second level here at Dodger Stadium. Drew Pomeranz starting to throw. I'll be getting ready if Adrian Gonzalez were to surface in this inning.
Well, tonight looks like the first night since the trade of Clippard that the A's will experience the back end of the bullpen in general without Clippard, who had been closing with Sean Doolittle on the disabled list pretty much all year with the exception of one appearance. The A's are hopeful that sometime before the end of the season Sean Doolittle does come back. There is the newly named closer at this point. That is Edwin Mujica, who closed with the Cardinals before going to the Red Sox and being retained by the Athletics.
What a good idea for Bob Melvin to, as soon as Clippard was traded, he said, hey, Mujica's the closer. Most experience. Otherwise, you got guys wondering what's going to be going on, and at least now you know that come the 9th inning, Mujica's going to be the guy.
And it's really kind of mix and match. You see Pomeranz getting loose, and Bod comes in to face 3, and now Fernando Rodriguez.
Hard slider, and Guerrero strikes out. So 1 away here in the bottom of the 7th.
How about this hard breaking ball away from right-handed? Fernando throws hard, and man, this ball just accelerates. Fegley catching the heel of the glove, and Great pitch, nice catch by Fegley, and first out of the inning. Well, Fernando, 2 years removed from Tommy John surgery, and he is just getting better and better, and power arm out of the A's bullpen.
First pitch is a strike. So this is Scott Van Slyke, who double switched into the game last inning. He's in left field, hitting ninth. Dodgers are without really one of their, quite frankly, one of their better hitters, Justin Turner, who plays a lot. He's got a thigh infection, and from what I read today in the newspaper, he's not even here at the ballpark, I don't believe.
Well, evidently Matt Holliday blew it out again today.
Yeah,
Cardinals.
a leg injury.
Going to be out with quad. Groin, something that snapped again for him, and it's unfortunate as he was coming back, trying to come back. Cardinals through a lot of injuries this year, but yet they're still going strong as always.
Yeah, best record in the National League. Dodgers have the third best record in the National League, although I told you earlier, right now they're tied with the Giants for the top spot in the National League West. Royals with the best record in the American League. Fastball is high, 3-2. Trade deadline coming up on Friday. And it's low, and he walked in. A one-out walk to Van Slyke.
And there's your disappointment. That's what you're looking for in consistency. And Fernando went right after Guerrero, struck him out, and then a 6th pitch and walked to the 9th place hitter, but Van Slyke in for the pitcher spot. The double switch action.
So that'll bring up the leadoff man, Rollins, who tripled in the third. In fact, it was a leadoff triple. But the Dodgers could not get him home. And the first pitch inside to Rollins.
Hey, Josh Fegley, in simple conversation, you have two batters. You have this switch hitter and Rollins batting left, and Howie Kendrick, the right-hander, and then you're getting Gonzalez, switch hitter Grandal, left-hander in Ether. So that's why Drew Pomerantz is getting loose.
Inside, and now it's 2-0. RJ Alvarez also back up in the big leagues. Kurt Young will have a chat with his pitcher. His bullpen is going to be asked to do a lot tonight. Jesse Chavez, the starter, going just 5 innings, giving up 3 earned runs. Bod's giving him 1. 7 relievers. So 2-0 the count to Rollins with Howie Kendrick in the on-deck circle. So you have to be careful with the real power hitters closing in with Gonzalez and Grandal. And now the count is 3-0.
Well, that's something you never want to take a chance on blocking an umpire. And Fegley came out quickly like he wanted to throw to first base, and your pitcher's having a tough time throwing strikes. And that pitch was pretty close, but it was called a ball by the home plate umpire. Fegley likes to throw, but right now it's a matter of handling the pitcher. He tries to steal, you can throw him out at first base. Usually they don't get off far enough that you can warrant a throw to the bat.
So 3-1 to Rollins. And he popped it up right at Sogard. And Sogard has it, and that's out number 2. So Rodriguez battles back. He fell behind 3-0 to Rollins, and then he gets him to pop out.
Second baseman,
and that's
number 47,
how you handle
Kendrick.
any kind of a hitter. You say a 3-1 fastball, here it is, and I think that's proof. We've said it often. Fastball is a percentage pitch, does not mean a hitter on the 3-1 is going to crush it. Hit it straight up.
So 2 outs now for Kendrick, who singled and scored back in the first inning. Quick throw, and Van Slyke is back. Interesting to see what happens with Howie Kendrick in the offseason. He is a free agent. Just turned 32 years old. Wouldn't surprise me if the Dodgers made a good effort to re-sign Howie Kendrick.
If you make great trades, the guy's going to be there a year, and you think about who you gave up to get him.
You should try hard to resign.
That's right.
Still a very good player. Still in the prime of his career.
And I don't think there's anybody that the Dodgers have under control that can negotiate and not outbid anybody when it comes to trying to sign somebody.
No, that will not be an issue.
That should never ever be an issue for the Dodgers.
Right field, slicing foul. So Fernando Rodriguez ahead in the count, 1-2.
You can think about the TV contract. You can also think about attendance last night, 50,000. Attendance tonight, 51,000 plus. And then the Angels coming this weekend, you know they're going to sell out those.
Short lead by Van Slyke. He throws over there anyways.
They're down 3 runs. And I think it would be a blessing if Van Slyke did run, because Fegley could throw him out by 20 feet. But this is a concentration on a guy who could hit in one swing, take you deep. And you do not want to mess around with the runner first when you have the hitter. You concentrate on him.
Kendrick checks Fegley with a nice block.
Fegley is very, very good behind the plate. And again, Marcus Jensen worked with these guys, and it is paying off very, very big. Keeping runners out of small position. Keeping runners at third, less than 2 outs, or just in general. Keeping them at third. Balls in the dirt, blocked nicely. Fegley and Vogt.
And it's high. Quick throw. And it just almost got the runner at first.
And he's only getting a 3-step lead, and he still made it close. Vogt turning around, applying the tag, and that close to getting Van Slyke. And embarrassing, yes, if you're down by 3 and you're picked off at first base, trying to get the extra lead, and not being held now, he can get as big a lead as he wants.
So Van Slyke takes off in the 3-2 pitch. Inside, he walked out. So now you face Gonzalez. Melvin up out of the dugout. A couple of walks here in the 7th inning by Rodriguez. So Pomeranz is coming in. Should be a fun matchup. Pomeranz to face Adrian Gonzalez here in the 7th.
California is brought to you by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. And by Xfinity, home of the most live sports.
Downtown Los Angeles on a Wednesday night at Dodger Stadium with the A's leading 6-3, trying to win both games in this short 2-game series. Dodgers will come to the Coliseum a little bit later on this year for a 2-game set. That's the middle of August.
18th and 19th, I think. McGuire bobblehead giveaway in the 18th. Drew Pomeranz trying to get out of this inning with a couple of runners on. Drew Pomeranz pitched on Sunday in San Francisco at that point. We knew he was not going to be starting tonight. 2 innings that he pitched in that game Sunday, and tonight trying to get one of the best hitters out to get the third out of this inning. And Pomeranz, a part of a bullpen that's probably bullpen trying to hold down the opposition by committee, because not are going to be used. Shift on with Sogard in shallow right field. Yeah, he's second base.
So the first pitch to Adrian Gonzalez. Here it is. Curve, and it stays a little high.
Throws the knuckle curve, and a very good curve ball. 2 runners on via the walk.
And Slyke at second, Kendrick at first. Fastball, 92 miles an hour at the knees, first strike. Gonzalez walked in the first, popped out in the third, walked again in the fifth. He's got 5 career at bats against Pomeranz. Curve hit deep to center. Burns is back. Burns is going to watch it bang off the wall. 1 run scores, and they'll hold up the back runner, and it's 6-4. So Gonzalez almost poked it out of here.
Unfortunately, it did hit the wall, but came back. You can see the knuckle curve. It's almost like what Josh Reddick did last night against Brett Anderson. Threw him the first curve ball that he took. Fastball, and then came back with a curve. Gonzalez all over it. You could say here that fortunate it hit off the wall, that he didn't pull it for a 3-run home run. Almost hit a straightaway center, and Billy Burns got the high bounce off the wall, keeping Kendrick at third base.
So here's Yasmani Grandal, who hits from the right side, and the first pitch is inside. So Kendrick was held at third, and Gonzalez picks up his 61st RBI. So 6-4 now here in the 7th. Grandal takes a fastball first strike. Grandal has struck out, and he has grounded out twice. He's 0 for 6 in the series. Here's the knuckle curve on the outside corner, first strike, 1-2. So the 1-out walk to Van Slyke ends up coming in to score. One-two pitch, fouled straight back, a fastball, 94 miles an hour. Begley wanted it inside. It floated out over the plate a little bit.
That's where he gets his best velocity, pitching inside a right-hander. So
now Otero gets up. Fastball again, fouled straight back. And that's Joel Peralta, the right-hander. So lots of action tonight from the bullpens. Pomeranz is the 4th pitcher of the night for the A's.
And Grandal looks like he's trying to protect against the fastball and maybe thinking about the knuckle curve.
There it is. There it is, indeed. And it drops low. So pretty good take by Grandal.
And I think that said it all. That fastball up and in that he did foul back, and then the curveball, he just sat there. And he saw the one to Gonzalez that he hit off the wall in center, and he's taken a couple of curveballs for strikes.
And that one is lined down the right field line. Foul.
And that swing right there, and the curveball, he left it up as a hanger. And fortunately, Grandal a little bit off the end of the bat and sliced into foul territory. But with that curveball, kind of predictable. Here comes the fastball. And count is 2-2. See if he goes hard fastball inside after the curveball that almost was a two-run single.
There's a shot down the left field line. Foul. That was a fastball. Well, Grandal has seen them all now.
And he's hit them all. It's almost like he's guessing exactly with every pitch. And Pomeranz really is a two-pitch pitcher. Fastball, curveball. And he pitches his best fastball inside. Rarely does he go outside to the right-handers with a fastball, but might not be a bad idea to do it. And I would take the curveball, maybe not even throw it, just trying to spot the fastball. And, you know, first base is open, and granted the tying runs are on base, but he did not have to pitch this inning. There is a pinch hit in the on-deck circle.
Curve is tapped slowly up the third base line, and it is going to stay fair. 6-5 game. So the only thing to do was to wait and hope it rolled foul, and it didn't.
Well, it hit, but did not have enough spin that once it went off the grass, it stayed fair in the dirt.
So tough break for Pomeranz, and now he's going to face a pinch hitter, Kike Hernandez. It's only the 7th inning.
Well, the A's have had 2 walks score tonight, and in this inning, that has been the problem for the A's. Grandal was on everything and then chopped. I mean, he smoked foul balls, but then when he put a ball fair, it was just enough.
So here's Kike Hernandez, the pinch hitter. 265 his average. He's got 3 home runs. He's 1 for 8 as a pinch hitter. So runners at the corners and 2 outs. He's clinging to a 6-5 lead. Pitch, there's the knuckle curve, and it's in for a strike. Another knuckle curve, just a little bit outside. A pretty good pitch by Pomeranz. 2 walks and 2 hits and 2 runs for the Dodgers here in the 7th. And that one spins Hernandez out of the way with a fastball. So the count now 2 balls and 1 strike.
There's that close stance. Open stance then closes, and that's what made it seem a little bit closer as he Kind of fell into the ball.
Fastball up and away, and it's 3-1. Puig is the on-deck hitter.
And it'll be Otero. Sure.
Outside corner strike. So now full count. Grandal, the runner at first, will take off. He's been getting a very short lead.
Well, he nailed the outside corner, and that's a pitch that Grandal, I don't know, would have been looking for. He did top the curveball, and now it's 3-2 again.
Grandal goes, and the ball is poked foul on the right field line, so the count remains 3-2.
Oh, the center field camera, you can see the knuckle curve. Of course, the hitters a lot of times cannot see it. Sometimes they can. See the knuckle, and that's a hanger.
So another 3-2 coming up. Game on the line here in the 7th. And it's ripped to the gap, and that's going to get down for a hit. This game is tied. Here comes Gonzalez, and they're waving him home. We're going to have a play at the plate. The throw is not in time. The Dodgers have taken the lead. Hernandez hustles back to second base. Kike Hernandez, a pinch hit, 2-run double, and the Dodgers lead 7-6.
Three batters for Drew Pomeranz. Double, single, double. And a knuckle curve again, another hanger. And that is really just saying to the hitter, you're giving him a chance to do exactly what he did by slowing the ball down with a curveball. And Simeon threw the ball in the dirt. Nobody at second. So Hernandez, who's halfway to third, able to get back safely. And that quickly, and it all started with 2 walks and 2 outs, and then the hits to tie and then take the lead.
So we'll be back. Otero coming. Well, the A's scored 4 in the top of the 7th. The Dodgers have answered with 4 in the bottom of the 7th, and now it's 7-6 LA. Drew Pomeranz faced 3 hitters, went double, single, double, and now it's Dan Otero's chance to just get the A's back in the dugout. 3 hits, knocked in 4 runs. And here's Puig. That Grandal, little dribbler up the third baseline, is the one that's make it hurt.
Well, the 3-2 enabled Grandal to leave on contact, and hanging breaking ball that Hernandez hit in the left center. And that was a difference in the game. And really, it comes down to this inning to first 4 batters, 2 walks. And all this happened with 2 outs. All these hits. 2 walks, of course, put 2 runners on base, but the 3 consecutive hits with 2 outs have plated the 4 runs.
1-1 to Puig, who homered in the 4th. Taps that one foul.
Go back to your memory bank in the series in Arlington, Texas, the early part of May, where the A's had that 7-run 8th inning, I think it was, and won the game. And then the next night, ended up scoring 4 or 5 in 1 inning. The next half inning, Chris Bassett went out and walked a couple, 2 or 3, and all of a sudden, Rangers tied it, ended up winning on a walk-off. But you know, you score runs as the A's did, and then you come right back out and give it up. You know, that's what makes it tough, because it's hard to score runs, and when you do score them, you're hoping to get the shutdown innings, whether it's the starter or the bullpen. And Bob Melvin trying to mix and match. Abad, great. Rodriguez, Pomeranz, and now Otero. Lowry, big hit. Eric Sogard with a big hit.
Close pitch, called the ball, 3-2. Hernandez is the runner at second. He's the 8th man to bat in the inning.
Fifth hit in this inning with 3-2 count.
Puig swung at ball 4, rolls it foul right at home plate. So 6 runs, 12 hits, no errors for the A's. 7 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for the Dodgers. There's a base hit left field. Full charges. Here comes Hernandez. The throw, not in time. Throw to second base, and Puig is safe. So it's 8-6 Dodgers. Hernandez comes in to score.
Unfortunately, Brett Lawrie got the ball in slight hesitation. If he'd come up immediately, throwing to second, they would have gotten Puig. But Sam Folt throwing to the plate. Hard hit ball, thinking they had a chance to get Hernandez, but once the ball got past Brett Lawrie, the throw coming in, I don't know if we're going to see Brett Lawrie catch the ball, look, that hesitation just enough for Puig to get around the tag at second base and put another runner in scoring position.
Bob Melvin may want to check out the play at second base with Puig.
The headsets are down the third base line, and that's what Larry Van Over is pointing to.
So it was a close play. Let's check it out.
Yeah, it looked like he's out from the beginning. Oh, yeah, it's not even close. Yeah.
It sure did look like he was out. Ron Culpa's the second base umpire.
Yeah, he got him initially with the tag even before the follow through, and it looked like Culpa waited till the end and a complete slide, but
there's a moment where he came off the bag as well.
105 in New York City. Waiting for the West Coast.
I think he's out.
Yeah, I do too. I think he got him initially in the leg before even the follow through with his foot off the bag. Or
but is there enough to change it? That's what we always have to go by.
See, right there. It looked like he got him there.
Dan Otero staying loose, throwing some pitches to his catcher Fegley as we wait. Either way, it's a run driven in for Puig, and the Dodgers have scored 5 times here in the 7th inning. The A's just have not been able to get the 3rd out. With 2 outs, it's gone walk, double, single, double, single. They showed a pretty good replay up on the big board here, and it looked like he was out.
If you tagged him there, he's out. Say he's not even to the bag on that one.
The tag right about there. Ron Culpa, the umpire who called it, is running back towards second base. Larry Vanover, the crew chief, still has his headset on, and let's see what the call is.
And he's out.
And he's out. So that ends the inning, but Puig's hit does drive in a run. So when it's all said and done, the Dodgers score 5, and it's now 8-6 LA as we go to the 8th inning. Baseball. Log on to csncalifornia.com as our insider Joe Stiglitz provides wire-to-wire reporting on this 2015 season with breaking news, video, special features, and more. It's only on csncalifornia.com. So 8-6 now. Dodgers with that big 5-run 7th inning. So see if the A's can answer back. Let's see if they can do it against Joel Peralta. 2-1, 4.02 ERA. He's got 3 saves, does Peralta. So he'll pitch the 8th inning. So Callaspo comes in the game at 3rd. And Billy Burns leads it off. Breaking ball in for a strike.
Fourth reliever, and you said how they have how many? They got
6.
Jensen, the big closer.
Yeah. Yimi Garcia, who pitched last night, and Kenley Jansen. So a quick 0-2 to Burns, who has singled, fouled out, grounded out, and walked and scored. So 1 for 3. All games are final around Major League Baseball. Fair amount of day games today. We play a lot of day games here at Dodger Stadium. Rollins out, and Rollins grabs it, and that's out number 1. So Burns heads back to the dugout. He's now 1 for 4. And Fegley will hit for the second time.
Pitcher number 19, Josh Fegley.
Be back tomorrow night at the Coliseum. Chris Bassett and Carlos Carrasco is your pitching matchup for the first of a 4-game series against the Cleveland Indians. Indians won today, but prior to today they were sitting on a 6-game losing streak. You saw the Indians right before the All-Star break.
Saw some pretty good pitchers from the Indians, and going to see a couple of those in a 4-game series. Chris Bassett in the rotation. He is happy to be staying with the ball club instead of getting on a plane after his start in San Francisco.
Callaspo knocks it down, picks it up, throws, and they just get Fegley for the second out. Well, Joel Peralta gets the first 2 hitters he faces, and that'll bring up Reddick.
Number 22, Josh Reddick.
Well, Callaspo felt he had a lot of time, but Fegley almost beat it out with that little hesitation by Callaspo.
Reddick 3 for 4. 2 singles, double, and he reached on an error. He has scored a run. He's got a couple of stolen bases. First time in his career that he's had more than 1 stolen base in a game. Hooray in that Indian series. Corey Kluber, the reigning Cy Young Award winner, will not pitch. And for the A's, Aaron Brooks, one of the young pitchers the A's received in the Ben Zobrist trade from the Royals, he will be called up and he will start on Saturday night. So that's worth checking out.
Yep.
Right-hander by the name of Aaron Brooks. There's Kenley Jansen, the closer.
If he just had a good fastball, he'd be a good pitcher.
Yeah, if he had a better cutter, if he threw a little harder. Reddick toward left. Van Slyke hustling back. He's got it. Side retired. Peralta with a 3-up, 3-down inning. So bottom of the 8th coming up, and it's the Dodgers 8 and the A's 6. All right, game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. 7th inning is the difference in this game. A's took the lead. Dodgers grabbed it right back. So as we go to the bottom of the 8th, 6-12-0 for the A's, 8-9-1 for the Dodgers. Both starters go 5. And bottom of the 7th, A's had a 6-3 lead. They now trail 8-6. So Jacques Peterson to lead it off. He'll face Otero. For the A's, it's been Chavez, Abad, Rodriguez, Pomeranz, Otero. Peterson is 0 for 3, couple of strikeouts, big swing and miss. He pulled off that bad.
The game I referenced before in Texas, I looked back, the A's actually scored 6, and the Rangers came back to score 5-4 to tie it, and then won it with a walk-off. So similar in this game where the A's excitedly took the lead and then all of a sudden coughed it back up in the next half inning, and that was the 5 spot, all coming with 2 outs in the 7th inning.
High fastball, and Peterson is scuffling big time. He is 0 for 8 with 6 strikeouts in this series.
Third baseman, Alberto Callaspo.
Got that leg kick, and that's a 2-out swing or 2-strike swing, and you get a high fastball. You start your swing, and you're already committing to a pitch really out of the strike zone. It's almost like it's BP where they're saying you got 3 pitches, see what you can do, and he's not coming close. Got to shorten your swing, especially after 2 strikes, or they'll eat you up.
So here's Callaspo hitting for the first time. Alberto Callaspo. And he shoots one right up the middle, maybe off the glove of Otero in the center field. So Callaspo has a hit.
Number 33, Scott Van Slyke.
This is Callaspo. This is what we saw off the glove of Otero. He thought maybe he had it. That quickly, though, into center field off his glove.
So 10 hits now for the Dodgers. And here's Van Slyke. Van Slyke. Shallow left, Fold racing in. Sam Fold dives, he caught it. Sensational play by Sam Fold.
Super Sam not afraid to leave his feet, make the spectacular play. Got an assist on the final out of last inning. Hit the cutoff man, and Van Slyke thinking got an extra base hit. Maybe Sam Fold, though, all out, full out dive and up with it. And that is such a great play by Sam Fold. Got it right with his glove on the ground, sliding through on the grass. Great angle going after it, not afraid to leave his feet. And the fans even down on the third base left field foul line like the great effort by Sam Fold.
So Otero's done 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. And we're going to get a new pitcher when it's time for change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. It's your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts.
As this was a double, hustle double. Puig trying to make the spectacular play. It dropped. He went to second. It's another double on this ball. into right center. That would plate Ike Davis. And then this is the really big one. This is a 2-run single in the inning in which the A's came up with the lead. Scoring big was Eric Sogard with a big 2-run single. That was a 2-run single by Brett Lawrie. So our Honda player of the game goes to Brett Lawrie. New haircut. 3 hits tonight.
So Eric O'Flaherty comes in. I'm going to face Jimmy Rollins. Rollins, the switch hitter. So O'Flaherty 1-2, 5.57 ERA. And there's a broken bat. A little looper down the left field line, and it falls for a hit. Rollins is going to try for 2. He'll make it. And Callaspo stops at third. Sound like a broken bat.
Yeah.
And Rollins with his second in. He's got a double and a triple tonight.
Well, first pitch hitting, and Eric O'Flaherty throwing a fastball off the end of the bat. Jimmy Rollins not waiting around. And once the throw went to third, Rollins is able to get safely in the second. There's a dilemma. Do you pitch carefully to Howard Kendrick to face Adrian Gonzalez, the lefty? Seems like the A's are having a tough time getting a third out of an inning.
Hard slider. Kendrick swings over top. Kendrick's walk in the 7th inning. Another huge play. 2 outs. A runner at first. And Fernando Rodriguez trying to get the A's in the dugout with a 6-3 lead, and he walked Kendrick. Up the middle, center field, a base hit. 1 run scores, 2 runs score, and it's 10-6 Dodgers. So just a bouncing ball up the middle by Kendrick.
7 runs. Last 2 innings, all coming with 2 outs. Great play by Sam Fuld. And then back-to-back hits. A double and a single. And that quickly. 7 runs. With 2 outs. Man.
Well, Gonzalez will hit. And then a fastball in for a strike. Gonzalez, the double in the 7th to knock in a run. He's also walked twice, scored a run. Swing and a miss, 0-2. So finally Gonzalez is ready. And he swings and misses. So on 3 pitches Gonzalez is retired. 2 more runs for the Dodgers. They did it on 3 hits. 9th inning coming up. And it's the Dodgers 10 and the A's 6.
is presented by authority of the Oakland Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
Dodgers 10, A's 6. It's the 9th inning. Make sure you join us tomorrow. The A's will open up an 11-game homestand, and it'll start with a 4-game series against the Cleveland Indians. Tomorrow night, Game 1, it'll be Chris Bassett and Carlos Carrasco. Our coverage begins with A's pregame live at 6:30, and then complete A's coverage every night on Sportsnet Central and CSNCalifornia.com. Home of A's baseball is Comcast Sportsnet. So, Indians for 4, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So the Dodgers closer Kenley Jansen comes in. Ray and I were joking last inning. He throws plenty hard, and he's got a terrific cut fastball. I mean, it's Mariano Rivera-ish, and he's tough. 43 strikeouts in 23 innings.
And Dennis Eckersley tied 3 walks in those 23. So I'd say his strikeout to walk ratio is phenomenal.
So the Dodgers are fine at the back end of their bullpen. They're trying to find somebody to pitch the 7th or 8th inning. Kenley Jansen's very good. Swing and a miss. 91 miles an hour. He's got more than that.
Yeah, he's just kind of teasing the A's hitters with his stuff. He's got a 4-run lead, non-save situation, but he was up and throwing because it was a 2-run lead. Once again, the Dodgers adding 2 more with 2 outs and took it out of a save. But Don Mattingly getting some work in for him.
High fastball, and Stephen Vogt strikes out for the 2nd time tonight. 1 out here in the 9th inning.
Stephen Vogt had to be thinking this was DeGrom in the All-Star game. With bowling fastballs, not quite as hard as DeGrom, but location was pretty good. Stephen Vogt is going to get back, I'm sure, in the future, going back to the opposite field, trying to pull that outside fastball that was thrown very hard.
So here's Laurie. Laurie's had a big night. He is 3 for 4. He's got 2 doubles, a single, 3 RBIs, and 2 runs scored. These have 12 hits in the game. They've stranded 9 through 8 innings, so they've had plenty of offense. And tonight it was a bullpen full of struggles for the A's, and
complete meltdown.
Yeah.
Complete meltdown, and that's just really, you got a 3-run lead in the 7th inning. You need 9 outs, and you don't even get a chance to have them put the ball in play, especially the first 2 runners who reach via the walk. There's your cutter.
It just moved off the plate, but you can see how tough it is. It's thrown at a high velocity. So 1-2. Blocked by Grandal. Hit him up around the mask area. So 2-2 the count. They may give Grandal a little extra time. Field line and into the seats.
I think this, even though the A's are down by 4 runs and still a couple of outs to go and trying to do something, but at least you get to see one of the premier closers in the National League at least. And Dodgers will be back in Oakland, up in Oakland for a 2-game series. So if they see Jensen again in more of a traditional non-safe or a safe situation, but it seems like the long arm delivery, and he kind of hesitates on top of it before he stretches out with a big 6'6" frame and releases the ball probably from about 56 feet.
And he is a big, big man. Laurie waits with Sogard in the on-deck circle. So now full count.
It's Cutter that did not get Laurie to bite at it. Here comes the stretch. Watch how he kind of hesitates, brings the arm back, and then with a long stride, then he releases right there.
Yeah, he kind of moves slower on the mound. He looks a little bit like Lee Smith.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Just kind of ease up there and then whoop.
Yeah. Watch how he strides before he releases the ball. And that is a long stride. And at least he doesn't hydroplane like some of the pitchers are now. Where he kind of jumps and takes a long stride.
Kind of weak, I think. That one's hit well to left center. And that baby is gone. 10-7. Long home run for Laurie. Four-hit game for the first time in his career. And he's got a 4 RBI night as well. And that was home run number 9.
It's 5 home runs against lefties, 4 now against righties, and he just turned around one of the hardest throwing right-handers he's seen, and that is a great swing. You saw him go with a curveball to right center, drive in a run. So what a night for Brett Laurie. Listen, it's almost like Derek Norris a couple years ago hitting Roberts Chapman in a pinch hit effort in the 9th inning. About a 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
So 1-1 to Sogard. Sogard had that 2-run single in the 7th inning. He's 1 for 4. Hits now for the A's. And there's a shot just fouled on the left field line. Seen from Kenley Jansen, and we've seen him pitch some on TV, Ray. And it doesn't look like he's throwing quite as hard as he. I mean, when I've seen him on TV, he's 94, 95, 96 miles an hour, and tonight we're seeing 91, 92.
Remember, we saw Chef Rodney come to the Coliseum in an unsafe situation, ended up giving up 4 runs. There's a difference. I mean, the adrenaline, you're coming in, you get ready to come in the same situation, and all of a sudden, it's not because of the 2-run score.
Sogard is retired.
All you're doing is getting your ERA elevated a little bit too much.
Well, Sogard 1 for 5, and Marcus Semien will try to keep the ball game going. Semien has a hit tonight. He's singled back in the 4th inning. He's also a fly ball to right, grounded to short, pop to second. So overall 1 for 4. And the first pitch is a fastball down and in. High in the air left field, and this should do it. Van Slyke waits, and Van Slyke grabs it, and that's the ball game. So Laurie with a home run here in the 9th inning to get it a little closer, but not nearly enough. So kind of a disappointing